and see if you still want to buy. She says the cooling off period can be productive.
You take 72 hours, you can investigate, maybe look at other vendors.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Your portfolio might be growing, but is it paying you income? Growth is not the same thing as income. At Retirement Income Source Grant and Financial Group, we build custom portfolios that generate income. Stop selling assets to pay for your retirement. Call now for your free income consultation at 855-930-6293.
Investment advisory services offered by Sound Income Strategies, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisory firm. The Retirement Income Source and Sound Income Strategies are associated entities. Retirement Income Source with David Scranton is a paid program.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Hola amigos, Brad Evans here. Check out this booming voice and Pat Boyle on BetMGM tonight, covering the biggest sports stories from coast to coast, live and interactive on the free Odyssey app, discussing NFL offseason news and getting you ready for the madness in college hoops. BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Always live on the free Odyssey app and watch on YouTube at BetMGM tonight.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah! They got her! They got her! They took her out like a rabid puppy! You know they did it, baby! And they're gonna celebrate. It's Reese on the Radio. We are live right here on WTIC News Talk 1080. We have breaking news. You all heard it. Kristi Noem, Department of Homeland Security. She is out of there. Gone. Dunzo. Excommunicated. Whatever the case is, and they are reveling in it in the news. They're going to have a field day with it. Trump got rid of her. What happened? What's going on? There were rumblings. Everybody feels like they won today. That's the whole deal. They all feel like they won. We got to the armor a little bit. The circle. The tightly wound circle around Donald Trump. It's falling apart. We got her. We got her. She's gone. Donald Trump did her a solid. I give him credit. He did her a solid. He made her the special envoy of the Shield of the Americas. When I heard it, I went, okay. There's a part of me that said, all right. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Can I tell you what I really, really believe? And this is going to sound like a prediction. This is going to sound like a prediction, but it's not. But I accept if you receive it as a prediction. Kristi Noem will write a book. And it'll be about, her time at the White House, working as the HS secretary. Of course, everyone writes a book in Washington. They're always bestsellers. But I'm going to make a prediction. We're probably going to have to wait a long time before this prediction, as you will call it, comes to fruition. But what I think happened here is Kristi Noem got fed up. I really do. I believe that the pressure was a lot to handle. Now, I know you're probably saying to yourself, but Reese, she shot a dog. Damn, you people are cruel. I'm the one calling you cruel. I'm making up things that you're suggesting. Just hear me out here. Hear me out. You're the secretary for the Department of Homeland Security. And when tragedy strikes, especially when it leads to 2 people being shot and killed, and you're the head of that department, the spin against you never dies. And that will carry with you forever. If I can, I want to go backwards a little here, just to give you an example. Alejandro Mayorkas, his name is mud, ladies and gentlemen. It is. This man was a lying, scheming piece of turd. He was a whole turd. And he will always be remembered on both sides as suggesting to the American people the border was secure. Everybody knows that's nonsense. It's about as silly as suggesting that Kamala Harris wasn't the border czar. But when you have these jobs and you are looking to advance your career, because that's, in essence what politicians do. They pad their resumes for the next gig. Should Kristi Noem decide to be a state senator or maybe higher office, this sits. And it's not like Kristi Noem is responsible for this, but what happened in Minnesota really captured the entire country. Maybe not the world, but the country. And this always sits at the feet of Kristi Noem. Now, I'm willing to give her a degree of grace. She did not expect, and no one could suspect, that there would be this group of people who would, especially in the cold months, pulling the amount of stunts that we saw displayed in front of us. And I will admit, the news media had a really, really, they gained some ground with the idea that we could ignore what these agitators were doing. Checkpoints in Minnesota? The fact that there were people who were getting in front of federal officers and fighting with them like Alex Preddy was? Renee Good, regardless of whether or not she was, driving into the ICE agent was enough, in my view. That's my opinion. I don't care if you like it. But it is a 50-50 issue if you think about it. I'm not here to quibble with you about whether or not it was right or wrong. I'm telling you it was right. And I don't care about the people who think it was wrong. Me, on the other hand, I'm a little more harsh on the argument than many people are. A lot of you, for some odd reason, you have to rest on your sensitivity. You know, it's like, well, aren't you compassionate? Yes, I'm absolutely compassionate, 100%. But you can't drive a car into me either. Just saying. I'm just seeing it for what it is. I'm sorry if that's not compassionate for enough people. But nonetheless, it was a 50-50 issue. It just was. And Kristi Noem, no matter what happens, she ends up being the face of that whole thing. She was at those congressional hearings. It was just always going to be the constant backlash that was coming from Washington. Tom Tillis did not help. But regardless of that, I believe that Kristi Noem said, listen, I can't quit. If I quit under the Trump administration, forget about it. They're going to say that that I couldn't handle the pressure. This is an admission of guilt. And she's bowing out because it was too much for her to bear. Kristi Noem is a tough woman, or at least that's the way she comes off. That reputation, in my view, is intact if she just gets fired or reassigned. She gets to keep that. That's just my view. You probably think differently. That's okay. Telephone number's there for a reason. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Call later on in the show. We'll rehash this. It's going to be big news all day. So whenever you want to get into it, let's get into it. But I really do believe that if you have an ounce of integrity in this, which I want to believe Kristi Noem does, she tells the president, look, fire me. I don't want to resign. That makes your administration look weak. The people that you chose me. I took this job. It looks bad on you. Make this you making a decisive decision. They don't like me. That's fine. They don't like you. You fire me. It confuses the left. They don't know exactly what to do. They hate everything. Imagine this. You hate everything that Trump does, and then he fires somebody that they all hate. Can you imagine what the reaction is? Like, do you imagine them coming out and saying, Trump did a smart thing here? Erase that. No, I can't have people thinking that I'm sympathizing and any celebrating Donald Trump. No, erase it. I'm telling you, it's brilliant. But I think, trust me on this one. I'm laying it down. 10 toes down, as the kids say. I'm going with it. Kristi Noem's told the president of the United States, fire me. Get rid of me. I'm out of here. Put me someplace else, Put me in the special envoy. What is this? I'm sorry. I'm so cold. The special envoy for the Shield of the Americas. As soon as I heard it, I went, what? I was like, is she the special envoy for the Hall of Justice? For the Justice League? Like, what? What is this thing? What? Wonder Woman finally got a gig. What is going on? What is the Shield of the Americas? Is this run by the Avengers? I didn't know what to make of it. I went to go look it up. Let me see if I can share it with you. I'm sure plenty of you are out there going, what the heck is this thing? It says the special envoy for the Shield of the Americas is a newly created diplomatic position announced by President Trump today. It appears to be tied to a broader U.S. security and foreign policy initiative in the Western Hemisphere, formally launching at the Shield of the Americas Summit scheduled for March 7th at Trump National Doral in Miami. The role was assigned to former Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem after Trump replaced her with Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, which you all know is a Republican from Oklahoma. that's effective on the 31st. It was announced, of course, as you heard at the top of the hour news by John Silva, if you didn't see it elsewhere. So, again, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. But I really do believe that. You make sure that Donald Trump, because he's not the fall guy here, right? You let everybody else speculate. Let the media do what the media does. But Kristi Noem gets, fired, if you will, right? She doesn't bow out gracefully. Donald Trump doesn't fire her outright from the administration. He keeps her close. This is not like an Omarosa thing where he fires her outright, kicks her out of the White House. Next thing you know, Kristi Noem is writing a scathing tell-all. Right? You keep her close. Don't worry about it. I got you. She says, fire me. He goes, no. What I'll do is I'll just do a little maneuvering. I'll put you here at the Hall of Justice. Hang out with Batman. I think that's really, I'm telling you, I know that's what happened. I'm telling you. Let me read some of the comments. Let me see. Those two deaths were responsible for their own deaths. Agreed, Lori, 100%. Ryan says, reminds me of Hartford currently. Mayor puts out a weak statement not backing the officers at all. But if they're cleared all the way, we'll still say something to keep the power instead of leading. I guess you could. Lori says, I have zero empathy for those who ignore laws and use dangerous actions against law enforcement. Exactly. I don't either. I'm not one of these people who's like, cry me a river. I told everyone this, when you see everyone jumping out a window to defend the behavior of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, I go, yep, wait. It's one of those things like, the people who at the race who dart off before the gun is fired, they just immediately start screaming and hollering. Oh, see? They think because this is a desperate attempt by most people on the left. It's a desperate attempt to get out in front of a story, make the assumptions about the story, get the narrative going, and then when the truth comes out, there is no coming back. I say this all the time. I was just having a debate with my good friend Kevin Meggett, whom I argue with all the time. He's my boy. I argue with him all the time, but goodness gracious. They don't care about the facts. They care about what they believe. That's kind of how that goes. And I love him for it, but, sometimes it can be a little frustrating. Because it's, denial for the sake of denial. And that's what happened with both of those cases. And Kristi Noem, and I'm almost certain, I'm going to be proven right about this, that when the book comes out, when Donald Trump and the administration are over, she'll write that book and she'll tell that story, because the story would have been, dead and buried as far as, an administration. They moved on after 2028. Kristi Noem writes the book. And then they'll go and it's like, oh, Kristi Noem tells what happened. When she was let go at the Department of Homeland Security. She frames it this way. It'll be years from now when it happens. But mark my words, that's exactly what it is. It's a smart move. It saves her. Nothing like getting fired by the most, powerful man in the world and still keeping you on or reshuffling. I should say shuffling, just shuffling the deck, just saying, we got you covered. You're going to be okay. It's all right. We're going to put Mark in. All right. You don't mind? Where are all the feminists here? Shouldn't they be outraged? Shouldn't they be screaming and hollering that he replaced Kristi Noem with a man? Somebody said something in the chat room. I ain't going to say who it was. It would be cruel of me to say who it was. But someone said, I'm actually okay with that. They say we don't need a Barbie in that position. Ladies, you should be mad. That comment came from a man, by the way. That comment came from a man. He said, we don't need a Barbie. I didn't think she was a Barbie. I think she was more like Barbie's sidekick. What was Barbie's sidekick name? Was her name Kate? She had a real corny name. I don't know who it was. We got to take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. When we return, did Jasmine Crockett destroy her own campaign? Turns out, yeah. And we've got the audio and the video to prove it. We'll return. It's Reese on the Radio.
Winning doesn't start on game day. It starts with preparation, trust, and the right team. Just ask UConn's Braylon Mullins.
I trust the team at BPS Lawyers, just like I trust my teammates on game day.
At BPS Lawyers, we prepare like champions, fighting for you in personal injury, family law, and more.
I'm Nick Payne-Darris. At BPS Lawyers, we're one full-service firm. All your legal needs, always.
BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
Is life insurance on your list of New Year's resolutions? Now is the perfect time to add it. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40, and her $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
2:30, Hartford temperature 38 degrees, cloudy skies. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. President Trump has shown Kristi Noem the door as Homeland Security Secretary.
CBS News special report. Kristi Noem is out as Homeland Security Secretary. CBS's Nancy Cortez has more from the White House.
After about 24 hours of speculation, the president, as he likes to do, just made the announcement himself via Truth Social, saying that he was going to be putting Markwayne Mullin, the senator from Oklahoma, in charge of the Department of Homeland Security, and essentially demoting, not firing, but reassigning Kristi Noem to what he described as special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, which he said is a new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere that he plans to announce on Saturday in Florida.
The announcement came after criticism of DHS spending, including $200 million on an ad campaign, which Noem said the president approved. Noem has been under fire for months after the fatal shootings in Minneapolis. CBS News special report. I'm Cammie McCormick.
Two New York City men are facing charges. They duped elderly residents in Fairfield out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Police say in both cases, they urged the victims to withdraw money and give it to couriers for the supposed purpose of converting it into gold. There is a winter weather advisory that goes into effect at 5 p.m. for northern Connecticut and western Mass. Rain will change to sleet and freezing rain after dark, and that could create some icy conditions in the northern parts of the state. Bob Cox has the forecast coming up. In addition, Governor Lamont is reactivating the severe cold weather protocol. That will also go into effect until at 5 and will run until at least noon on Friday. And the state's legislature's aging committee is meeting today. It is considering private equity, and its involvement in nursing homes across the state comes after California-based private equity company Prospect Medical Holdings started selling 3 hospitals in the state that fell into considerable financial distress under its leadership. WTIC News Time, 2:32. Here's Bob with the forecast.
There'll be rain around this afternoon. It's chilly with temperatures in the upper 30s to around 40. A winter weather advisory going into effect at 5 p.m. for northern Connecticut and western Massachusetts. That's because the rain's going to change over to freezing rain and sleet in these areas, producing icy conditions. You could see accumulating sleet or ice accretion from freezing rain, especially in the northern hills and western Massachusetts tonight. It would be problematic for travel. Lows between 29 and 35 degrees. Most of the precipitation ends by sunrise Friday. There could be a few dribs and drabs left over in the morning. It remains cloudy through the day, highs 35 to 40. Cloudy Friday night and Saturday, high near 50 Saturday and in the 50s Sunday with a mix of sun and clouds. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Free fall continues on Wall Street. The Dow down over 1,100 points as oil surges toward $80 a barrel. NASDAQ's down 288, S&P's down 97. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Are you a commercial building owner in southern New England? Are you frustrated with your roof services? Contact Eagle Rivet Roof Service today. Our skilled technicians provide tailored roof repair and maintenance programs to maximize your building's lifespan. With 24/7 emergency response and comprehensive service options, we are Greater New England's trusted commercial roofing provider. Visit EagleRivet.com for a complimentary inspection or call 860-953-1231. Protect your investment with Eagle Rivet.
Brian Jackman here for Serta Pro Painters. Listen, I had an incredible experience with them. They gave me a great estimate. They were there on time, and when they came to paint our kitchen, they were in and out, and when they were gone, it was like they were never there, except they left a beautiful kitchen. Maybe it's time for you to take a look at their spring sales event. You can get 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. Serta Pro Painters, they're independently owned and operated right here in our community, so you might want to give them a call. Start spring off right. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Serta with a C.
If you've been injured, you deserve more than what the insurance company offers you or thinks you're worth. When you get Carter, we'll help you get more. More experience, more attention, and more accessibility. People who hire an attorney get 3 times more on average compared to what big insurance offers them. Their job is to get you to take less. Ours is to get you more. If you've been injured, call the Carter Mario Law Firm at 877-GET-CARTER or head to getcarter.com to get more.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend lost 20 pounds her first 2 months.
Oh my, what are you waiting for? Lose the weight or stop smoking with Hypnosis, guaranteed only $59.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. That's right, Hypnosis. Thursday, March 12th at the Cambria Hotel, Manchester South and South Windsor. Weight loss hypnosis, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 8 p.m. And Saturday, March 14th at the Holiday Inn Express in Southington. Weight loss hypnosis, 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 2 p.m. p.m. Register markpatrickseminars.com.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
Hey guys, we're back. Reese on the radio here live. Skipper. I never remember that. Skipper was Barbie's friend. That's her name. I wasn't a Barbie person either. Skipper. That's right. Now it's all coming back to me. Skipper. Weird name. Anyway, we'll get into DCF in the 3 o'clock hour because I got so much to cover on that. Because the Hartford Courant had an article today that blew my mind as you have legislators and, of course, Martin Looney, who was trying to push this whole new, if you try to drop your kids or take your kids out of public school, you get a DCF file so they can check up on you. And again, I went to go look it up after we had our guest yesterday, Deborah Stevenson, talking about it. And she said it is a violation of our constitutional rights, a parent's constitutional rights. And I went to look it up and it gave a whole breakdown. I went to research this. There's like so many constitutional issues with this. Not only that, as she expressed yesterday, there are people like, we can't implement this no matter what. Even if it passes, they can never do it. Which shows you how crazy these people are. And the other arguments that people in the legislature say, no, we can do it. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and try. I would suggest that the 3,000 to 4,000 families that showed up would file a class action lawsuit against the legislature or anyone for that matter. The governor, if he would sign it into law. Anyway, but we'll get to that in a second. I want to talk a little bit about Jazzy Fat Nasty. You know her as Jasmine Crockett. And, you know, I talked about it when I was in Texas broadcasting live here. I played these clips all the time, and I made fun of them. Now, when I made fun of these clips, it was before Jasmine Crockett made any decision to run for Senate. And she was emboldened by the Democrat Party. They refused to play any of the clips that she is famous for. Many people downplayed it. They really, they gave her a lot of love. They were platforming her like crazy. But what should be interesting to everyone about the Jasmine Crockett thing is this. Who is the number one group that Democrats, speaking of the Kristi Noem firing or removal, what were the one group of people that Democrats maintained their allegiance to? Hispanics and the Latino community, whatever they're calling them this week. That's what they do. That was the whole purpose for all of the outrage. Get your hands off of our Hispanic members of our community. But it was Jazzy Fat Nasty who took another route. Didn't she? I have the numbers here, and I'll go over them in a second. Let me see if I can grab them real quick here. Move them. I kept them over there on the side for some reason. But I did. I looked at the numbers of this election. And I'll shuffle through this while I play the audio sound bites. You have a woman running for a Senate seat in Texas. My wife refers to it as northern Mexico by population. And Jazzy Fat Nasty chose to go on speeches, with a whole bunch of sister girls and brothers and say the most outlandish things about the people that she is supposed to court as possibly their new senator.
And as they have decided to go after immigrants and and things like that, and they've said, oh, they taking your black jobs. They taking your black jobs. Not really. They are obviously jobs that they want us to go back to, such as work in the fields, all right? Those immigrants that come into our country, they work the fields, something that we ain't done in a long time, and clearly he is trying to make us go back to the fields.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
Okay, well, guess who is working the farms? So that you can afford your food. So that you can have food. So that you can have food. Now, how many of you are looking to send your kids into hospitality after this college education so that they can go and make the beds at the hotels? How many of you are planning to send your kids to college? Because that's what we do here. We send everybody to college. How many of you are planning to send your kids to college so that they can then go and build these houses? So the reality is that so long as we live in a capitalist society, there's always going to be someone or a group of people that will do work that some of the rest of y'all don't want to do.
The slaves! The slaves. She knew what she was saying. She was in her own bubble, ladies and gentlemen. She loved being in her own bubble. That's where she roams. She believed that she was going to win with all the black vote. Here's the thing that a lot of these foolish Negroes can't seem to wrap their head around. You're in northern Mexico. The Latinos outnumber the blacks 3-1. Yeah, they do. Jasmine Crockett got 80% of the black vote. Of course she did. Of course she did. Sister girls and the brothers. But the white man, the white man who will lay down his life to save the Hispanic, the Latino, the white man, or the white woman, who will lay down their life, will give everything they have to protect the Hispanic. Oh, yes. Yes. Tellerico. He got 60% of the Hispanic vote. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. 39% of the Hispanic voters voted for Jasmine Crockett. Some of them didn't have a problem with picking cotton, I guess. They were probably saying to themselves, well, she's part right. It's okay. We'll ignore all that. Yes. Jasmine Crockett with 80% of the black vote. Tellerico with 60% of the Hispanic vote. Gave Tellerico a double-digit margin above Jasmine Crockett. That's why. And she thought it was cute. We done picking cotton. That's why they here. We done cleaning bathrooms. That's why they here. You know what I'm saying? Sure enough, black folks are like, yeah, that's right. We ain't doing them jobs no more. That's why they coming over here. Oh, the arrogance. The sheer arrogance of it all. And just remember, folks, here is the biggest irony in all of that. This is the same group of people who sit around talking about slavery like it happened 2 weeks ago. Huh? You think that these folks picked cotton last year. That's the way these folks talk about it. And imagine you're a Hispanic person watching television, seeing black folks who can't stop talking about reparations for slavery, promoting yours. Every day, you turn around and you watch the news, and there's Jasmine Crockett in one breath screaming about how we need to pay reparations for the wrongs that were done in this country, and then promoting you coming over the border so you could do the same thing. And the best part about it is Tellerico still got 80% of that vote. Because he's no different. He's no different. He thinks the same thing. He's just not stupid enough to say it like Jasmine Crockett does. Jasmine Crockett, she gets, she gets the Ebony Soul Sister Award, She gets patted on her back by, the folks over at BET. As we used to call it, bamboozled entertainment television. Not one person in the black coalition stopped and said, "Psst, hey, Jasmine, you want to stop calling them slaves? Can you do that? Can you stop?" Yeah. Nobody thought about it. Why? Because she was twisting her head. And again, as the old saying goes, you can't tell a black woman nothing. You can't. You can't. Sorry. I know black women who are listening, you're probably getting upset, but guess what? I'm telling you something, and guess what? You can't deal. You're sitting there right now stewing. I can't believe he said it about us. See, can't tell you nothing. You're just upset. Why are you getting upset? Tell me the truth. Did Jasmine Crockett undo her own campaign by talking about Hispanics as if they were the new slaves coming in, and she was promoting that, saying those are the things that make America great, the new slaves? Do you think that was working? Huh? Does the polling data suggest that it was a good strategy? I don't think so. Huh? Don't sit up here and argue with me because I said you can't tell a black woman anything. You can't say anything to her. I know. Trust me, I know. It's the reason why I haven't dated a black woman since the Reagan administration. I figured it out early. We'll be back. More news, more views. I'll take a few phone calls when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
With St. Patrick's Day approaching, be sure to pick up a delicious Hummel's corned beef, Connecticut's favorite corned beef. That's because each brisket is hand-trimmed by our professional staff, and since Hummel's corned beef is made with natural juices, you'll get less shrinking and more great flavor. This St. Patrick's Day, treat your family to a tender and delicious Hummel's corned beef, and remember, all Hummel products are gluten-free and always represent the very best in quality. I'm Eric Hummel, and I personally guarantee it.
Making sense of it all and having fun. That's how we would sum up our show, Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. It's what happens when you take a Gen Xer, a millennial, and a baby boomer and give them a radio show.
We go through the news the same way you and your friends would, taking the serious stuff seriously while also laughing at the absurd.
Each one of us brings a unique perspective to the news of the day, closing the generation gap in a way no other talk show can. Hear Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins weeknights 6 until 9 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-458-9469. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-458-9469. 800-458-9469. 800-458-9469.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Let me see if I can grab a couple of these phone calls real quick. Gary is in Southington. What's up, Gary? Gary? Hey, what's up, buddy? Are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, what do you got, boss?
Yeah, I'm really upset about Chrissy Nome getting fired for a couple of reasons. One is that she looks like my wife.
Okay, took it personal. I get it.
So I'm really, really upset about this. I'm going to go march on Trump's office and demand that she be reinstated.
Apparently, for a lot of these protesters, they think that works. I mean, if you think so, you can go right ahead.
So, you know as well as I know that if she was a Democrat, none of this would have happened. They just attacked her because she was attractive. She worked for Trump, and I know some of the conservatives didn't like her either. But I really don't see how she was doing a bad job.
Well, what do you make of my assertion that the two shootings with ICE officers, I think it was a third as well, that may have played a role in I suggesting that she's saying, look, this is a lot of pressure on the campaign or on the presidency. You know what? Just fire me. Bring somebody else in, and you can. He says, "No, I'm not going to fire you. I reassign you." What do you think about that sort of suggestion that may have happened?
No, I think it's absolutely true. Except I think that Trump is somewhat caving in as far as. Oh. I mean, they were in the wrong. I mean, the ICE people weren't in the wrong.
Oh no, I don't. No, I don't. I'm agreeing with you on the ICE thing. I'm looking at the optics, but it's not like, I'll put it to you this way. Imagine like the replacement is not really, let's just say, a weaker candidate. Markwayne Mullin really comes off, if not a lateral move, maybe in sort of upper tier move. You don't think Markwayne Mullin sort of fits the bill as kind of a Trump acolyte?
No, I really don't know a lot about him.
Okay.
So I can't really weigh in on that one.
I got
so I'll wait and see.
Okay. But I would say, look, do a little background on Markwayne Mullin. In my view, I think that he's a really, really good pick. Perfect? Maybe not. But I think a good pick as far as a relation to Kristi Noem. I think, for me, it's at best a lateral move. It's not a dissension. It's really, really a lateral move.
No, I hope that it's a good move. I mean, it's better than who we had before as far as with Biden's people. We know that.
Well, anything. At this point, Rocky and Bullwinkle would have made better Border Patrol agents than Alejandro Mayorkas. Without a doubt.
I wanted to say something quickly about what's going on in Iran. Look, this if you have time.
Well, I got to take a couple because I got to move on this segment, but I appreciate you, Gary. Thank you, buddy. Let's go to Dave in Bradford real quick. Hello, Dave.
Yeah, on the Kristi Noem story.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that stuck a little bit was the $200 million advertising campaign.
Yes.
On TV and the radio, which I thought that it certainly saved way more than it cost. That ultra-dramatic self-deportation. If we deport you, you will never come back. You will never become a citizen.
Indeed.
That was really, I think, that way more saved, welfare money than it cost to put on.
Yeah, it's impressive. The impressive part about that, Dave, was that what did we see as a result of that? We saw 2 million self-deportations.
It absolutely worked. And I want to morph into, and I'll spend the second half of my call, brings me to my least favorite political candidate, William Tong, who is in heavy rotation, has got that ridiculous romance scam commercial running on TV and the radio. And the thing is, it doesn't even tell you how to avoid the romance scam. The tagline at the end of it is, I'm Attorney William Tong, together with AARP, we're working to stop these scams.
Yeah.
That's self-promotion for William Tong at my nickel. And because we know how much it costs to promote Kristi Noem, how much is it costing the taxpayers to promote William Tong in his effort to get reelected this fall?
Such a good point.
And one more, this is not quite a joke. Her most famous sentence, and I don't like that you call Jasmine Crockett, that
Jazzy Fat Nasty. Sorry.
I would like to call her a bleach black, bad built butch body politician. Okay. Thank you.
You got it, boss. You got it. I totally will indulge that. That is hilarious. Okay, my other two callers stand by. I'm going to have to come to you at the other side of the break because these guys are going to. They've got a lot of stuff to say. I promise I'll get you to the other side of that, and then we're going to talk about the DCF issue. The article that was in the Hartford Courant. There's a lot to that story, which, again, was mind-boggling when I read it this morning, saying to myself, that Martin Looney is got to be out of his cotton-picking mind to think that we should be throwing in more people on the docket for DCF workers. What the head of DCF said in that hearing should alarm everyone. Because I talked to Josh Elliott here. He was talking about how they need more resources. It doesn't matter. And yesterday, I was yelling at some listener who was writing about how they need more money and better training. Well, obviously, nobody saw the writing on the wall because the DCF head is saying far worse things about what's going on at DCF. This place is a sinking ship. It is. And it is no surprise after hearing what I heard that Mimi died. It is no surprise. I'm sorry. Had we known this a long time ago, we know exactly why those folks dropped the ball. And if you haven't, go check out the Hartford Courant article. We'll talk about it in the next talk break. But for now, we got to get back to the top of the hour news. And John Silva is here. He is going to get you through the news in the WTIC newsroom. It's Reese on the Radio. We'll be back.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the Radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
It's 3 o'clock, Hartford temperature 38 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Winter weather advisory will go into effect starting at 5 this evening. We'll have the rain changing to sleet and freezing rain in some spots. We'll have the forecast details coming up. A shakeup at the Department of Homeland Security.
CBS News special report. Kristi Noem is out as Homeland Security Secretary. The president making the announcement on Truth Social. Noem took a grilling from lawmakers this week. Here's Nancy Cordes.
You could get a sense broadly the reaction to Kristi Noem in those hearings from not just Democrats, but from some Republicans, that she was really on thin ice. The fact that Tom Tillis of North Carolina was basically yelling at her, telling her she's a terrible leader.
Part of the criticism was over a $200 million ad campaign that Noem said the president approved. That as DHS funding had lapsed. CBS's Nicole Skanga.
This is sort of a moment of turmoil for this department. To now remove their only Senate-confirmed leader at the helm really throws this department, the third largest in the United States government, into further disarray.
Trump has tapped Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma to head the department. CBS News special report. I'm Cammie McCormick.
In a statement, Senator Richard Blumenthal says Noem had to go, saying, quote, the atrocities she oversaw, the falsehood she peddled, and the corruption she committed all richly deserve her discharge, end quote. The U.S. and Israel continue to pound targets in Tehran, and Iran is launching new attacks against Israel.
As I understand it, the U.S. and Israel are gaining air supremacy. They don't have full air supremacy. It's not like they can fly over Tehran as if it were Texas at this point. But that is happening very, very quickly. And as soon as they do, our understanding from officials here on the ground who have been briefed on the plans originally is that they're going to have much more access to do different kinds of attacks, more precision attacks, also bigger attacks, possibly involving B-52.
That's correspondent Matt Gutman in Tel Aviv. Hezbollah locations have been targeted by Israel as well in southern Lebanon. Here's the BBC's Weira Davies with more.
200,000 people have been ordered to leave southern Lebanon because of ongoing Israeli military incursions. And further north in Beirut itself, there's been an unprecedented evacuation order for parts of South Beirut, areas that are known to be loyal to Hezbollah and where there have been numerous Israeli military airstrikes in recent days, killing around 90 people.
A man's under arrest facing animal cruelty charges in New Haven. It was last March 25th that police say they were contacted by a local veterinarian regarding a 6-month-old puppy, Bella. The canine was suspected to have been the victim of animal cruelty. The dog's owner, 24-year-old Anquan Brown, reported the pup couldn't stand and wouldn't eat. Brown said the dog was hit by a handheld shower head during a bath. An examination turned up, though, chronic fracture to one leg, chronic rib fractures, a ruptured lung, and other injuries. Bella later died. Brown now faces charges of animal cruelty resulting in death. Bond was set at $25,000. He's due in court later this month. Conversations in Connecticut's the legislature's Aging Committee has lawmakers considering restrictions on private equity ownership involved in nursing homes. Comes after Manchester, Rockville, and Waterbury hospitals floundered financially under Prospect Medical Holdings out of California. The state came to the rescue of Waterbury Hospital through Yukon Health. Newtown Republican State Representative Mitch Bolinsky argues the state can't always bail hospitals or nursing homes out when they hit troubled financial times.
My job is to be a steward of the people's money, and I think that we hung a potential albatross around the taxpayers' necks with the Prospect aftermath, and they'll still suffer no consequences, which really just steams me.
There's extra focus on nursing homes this year after the death of a 93-year-old Margaret Healy, who wandered away from the Bickford Health Care Center in Windsor Locks one night last month before she was later found dead. WTIC News time is 3:04. Checking traffic. Don't have much in the way of any issues out here in the Hartford area. So far, okay. 84 at 91, routes 2 291, 384, all traveling in pretty decent shape throughout the Hartford area. It is wet out there, so you're going to want to keep your speeds down, especially later on tonight, as we hear from the WTIC Weather Center.
It's been a cloudy, cooler day with rain and drizzle, and we're coming down from a high in the upper 30s. As we head through tonight, it's breezy with some very heavy rain. That's going to kick off through the evening hours and continue as we push through midnight till about 2-3 a.m. There will be puddling and ponding on roadways, a low of 34. Tomorrow, periods of rain in the morning. Otherwise, it's a cloudy day, a high of 37, so a little brighter for the afternoon. Tomorrow night will be cloudy with occasional rain and drizzle late, a low of 33. Saturday, the weekend will be a little bit warmer for us, but it does start off cloudy for Saturday with a high of 47. Then Sunday with partly sunny skies. That'll bump our numbers up a little bit, a high near 59. Going into Monday to start off the work week, it's mostly sunny, nice and warm, a high of 65. And as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll be pushing some records as we stay in the 60s, even venture close to the 70s. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's down over 1,000 points. The NASDAQ is down 227 and the S&P's off 80. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Want to hear a shocking statistic? Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. Don't believe it? Google it. And that doesn't count serious injuries like birth injuries to perfectly healthy children. All doctors wear white jackets, but it doesn't make them all the same. Most medical errors are committed by the same quacks over and over again. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Many hospitals looking for more profits are forcing doctors and their groups to be employees of the hospital or be forced out of their system. It's a troubling trend in medicine. People make mistakes, but medical mistakes are huge and often forever. If you believe your child suffered a birth injury or a misdiagnosis or mistake led to a loved one's death or injury, let our team of medical malpractice lawyers examine your case for free. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Irby Fisher. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, brain fog, low sex drive, and it makes it tough to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is important to our overall health and well-being. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if some or all of those symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. But more than this, we can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or visit northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
Future therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I'll get to the phones real quick, and then we'll talk about this DCF thing. First, Steven is calling in relatively early. What's going on, Steven?
Had to take a couple of days off.
Okay.
Get them out of the end of the year. 2 quick things. I do want to talk about Kristi Noem. The whole thing about homeschooling. Even people that had DCF issues, the kids are only in school at most 180 days. I think, a 6-hour day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot could go on. I could see, if they have an issue with DCF, they should kind of, check into them no matter if homeschool or not. Now, as far as reparations go, how long has slavery been in the United States?
How long?
Yes.
Just over a little more than 200 years.
Well, actually, no. It's just kind of a quick question. It's been in about 89 years since the United States became its own country. So if they want reparations, you should go back.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, fair argument, because you have to, you have to consider when the United States was. Very fair question.
Right, so they should go back to the United Kingdom, start there first.
Good enough. Totally appreciate it.
I do think Kristi Noem is a great candidate for this new position. She was a governor of South Dakota. So, she has connections with the oil industry. Her husband's in insurance. They're worth about $5 million. They're in, she grew up as a farmer or whatever, raises cattle or whatnot. So with her connections and looking at what that new position entails, it looks like a more important position. So I think it's a win-win situation. To the Democrats, it looks like she got fired.
What do you look? Yeah, I agree with that. But everyone, as you just heard Dave calling earlier talking about this $200 million that they say. Now, New York Post is reporting this. It said Trump says Kristi Noem lied to Congress about getting his approval for a $220 million ad campaign featuring herself. Now, I'm looking at that article and I'm just going, well, Trump says, okay, well, I don't recall approving that amount of money. My question is, where did she get the money from then? Someone had to sign off on that.
Right. Valid point, and I don't know the answer. I didn't dig into it.
I am going to look into it.
Right. But if you look at that new position, I think she's going to be great. I think it's a more powerful, might even oversee, the border,
Agreed.
ICE agents and stuff like that. I think it's going to be huge for her.
Yeah, which brings me to my whole point about, first of all, you shuffle her. If she had done something, at least to the president, in the president's view, that was, let's just say illegal or without his permission, I mean, you fire her outright, which, again, I don't know. It just seems very, very weird to me, but I'm going to look into it. Anyway, thank you, Bossman. I appreciate you.
Good talking to you.
You got it. Let me get to Simsbury. What's up, buddy?
Hi there. So I'd like to make I'm unable to call later, so I'd like to make a comment. Yeah. And then I'd like to make a comment about another story which just came out on probably the last 24, 36 hours that absolutely impacts all the people in the state of Connecticut.
Okay.
So the DCF comment I have is not to sound like a broken record, but I've called in about other issues related to what this legislature is doing. And I've said, quite frankly, that they're basically saying these are not your children.
Yep.
These are the children of the government.
Mm-hmm.
And even with DCF saying, hey, we don't have the man or woman power to do the thing that the legislature wants them to do.
Right.
Even at its core, every single study I've seen says that kids who are homeschooled are doing outstanding academically. I can't speak for how they're doing socially or anything like that, so I'm not going to even try. So basically what we have is what some people would say is a conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm.
And that conspiracy theory is that the government does not want people to learn things other than what the government wants to teach them.
Ding, ding, ding,
which
ding,
is
ding.
all the stuff about trans and LGBT and hate America and all that other stuff, which does nothing but destroy the fabric of a country. And I use the word conspiracy. Well, that will be my lead into the other part of my topic.
Okay.
So I guess if I use the word aghast, upset, something like that, it wouldn't even come close to what I'm feeling right now about this topic.
Mm-hmm.
For many years, when I was a kid, and I'm going to say a vast majority of your listeners, when we were children, if we grew up in the state of Connecticut, we spent some time jumping in piles of leaves.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to worry about ticks and Lyme disease.
Sure didn't.
And suddenly Lyme disease came, and it has hit people unbelievably hard. Terrible. And people have said Lyme disease came from Plum Island right off our shores. And now in the last 36 hours, the U.S. government has released 282,000 documents which show not only Lyme disease, but they've been playing around with the Lone Star tick, came from Plum Island. So these people who say that, oh, you conspiracy theorists, well, guess what? Our government did a number on us, and rather than them coming forth and saying, hey, yeah, we were working on it, got out of hand, the birds grabbed it and transported it, the deer swim across, they transported it, we're really sorry, we're really working hard with the medical community to come up with a cure. They denied it.
Yep.
And you have a lot of people in the state say, oh, you conspiracy theorists. Same thing about what I said about the children and the government. I'm getting really damn mad. We're at a breaking point in this country, I believe, that if people, and I haven't even had my call with you on Epstein yet, I'm sure you noticed that. People need to start realizing that I'm going to say 95% of the stuff that you hear, it may not all be right when it's a conspiracy theory, but enough of it is right that it should make you mad as freaking hell.
It should. I couldn't agree more. Like I said, I am usually, Joe, I talk about it all the time. When I first started doing Whack Job Wednesdays, I said the only reason why I'm here is because I walked into 2023 with everything that everyone was saying. I was telling every friend, I was beating them off with sticks. All right, enough already with the conspiracy. All right, enough already. Then all of a sudden the stuff starts happening. I'm going, what the hell? Like, I was stunned. I tried really hard to resist. And then as they started to just fall into place, I really do believe, and I don't know if it was for you. You were probably there way before this point. But for me, COVID was kind of the time when I opened up my eyes. And it wasn't just that. It seemed like everything started to open. It was like that one thing in a video game where you find the secret code and every door opens that you've been completely blind to. It's all look like walls, and then you hit one secret code, and it turns out the walls were never there. It's all secret passages to everything that you thought was crazy turning out to be true.
I don't know if I said this. I apologize if I've said it in the past.
Yeah.
Back when the whole thing started with Q, I absolutely remember making a call to Tom, and I said, you know something? I believe that Q is actually a thing. And I also said, but I also believe that there are a bunch of other people who are pretending they're Q to try to get clicks on social media.
Yeah,
and
or to discredit them. Or to discredit them.
So let's go back to the original thing about Q, where a lot of people, almost all Democrats and a bunch of Republicans, saying, oh, my gosh, outrageous. Yeah, come on, eating children, sexual abuse networks. Oh, Pizzagate. Oh, it's all a lie. And where are we today, folks?
Yeah.
Where the hell are we today?
Yeah.
It was all true. Who knew? Who was the original Q who knew 10 years in advance?
Even Bill Maher,
right now,
isn't that wild?
This stuff was going on.
Isn't it wild that even Bill Maher on his program said, turns out they weren't crazy at all? I mean, I was a little...
No, and this is serious stuff, and it's all pointing... I don't blame the Democrats for what happened at Plum Island,
right?
But I can tell you that I'm going to say I probably heard from more Republicans. What eventually turned out to be the truth was that they were messing with ticks for military reasons on Plum Island, and it became Lyme disease. And now a lot of people are screwed, and children can't. If I had little kids, you're not jumping in that pile of leaves. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
your life could change.
Yeah,
all because of that. But we're all the crazies. The crazies are the Democrats. Something happened to their brains because they're the only way that you can potentially be a Democrat now.
Yeah.
You have to have one thing in common with all of your Democrat peers. You do not understand hypocrisy.
Yeah, I talk about that all the time. You're 100% right. Thank you, Joe, as always.
Thank you very much.
You got it. Yeah, 100% right on that. This DCF thing, as Joe was talking about, the crazy thing about this is that there is this hearing that happened, and the article is in the Hartford Courant today. And when I started reading it, I said to myself, they didn't really just write that, did they? But sure enough, they did. Let me see if I can get my, usually I just type in the website. Hold on. I usually am just ready to go. There we go. Let me see if they've moved the story around. Here it is. I got it right here. Hartford Courant. Who wrote this article? This is from Levi Stanford. Headline, advocates, lawmakers seek oversight and sweeping DCF reform. The system is not working well. Lawmakers are considering a sweeping bill on reforms of the Connecticut Department of Children and Families following the alleged fatal abuse of 11-year-old Jacqueline Mimi Torres Garcia, and the state audit finding an increase in children missing from DCF care. A federal audit of Connecticut's system last year found that only 41% of children's mental health needs were met. The Committee on Children proposed the legislation, which includes the establishment of a child welfare policy and oversight committee creating accountability for DCF. The implementation of a public online dashboard displaying information on DCF's performance comparable to federal standards, extra supports for caregivers, additional mandatory training for DCF employees, and the issuance of GPS emergency communication devices to DCF caseworkers after concerns were raised about their safety in the field and retention problems in the agency. Now, that's a lot to take in one paragraph, but listen to what they're saying, is that there are people who work for DCF who not only need mandatory training, but they also need GPS emergency communication, not for the kids, for the DCF caseworkers, because they are concerned about issues when they're out in the field, their own safety. The Committee on Children will vote on HB 5004 on Thursday. In a public hearing on Tuesday, Senator C.C. Mayer, a Wilton Democrat and co-chair of the Committee on Children, shared significant concerns about the lack of transparency in the agency following testimony from DCF Interim Commissioner Susan Hamilton. Quote, I think what I am struck by in all of the testimony is that it says fairly repeatedly, we are doing this, And I guess my question to you would be, if DCF is doing all of these things, why do we not know about them? Why do we feel the need is great for more oversight? Why is there not transparency? That is a very huge question because the public doesn't believe there's transparency. And I can say honestly that many of us in the legislature do not feel that there is transparency. Now, this is where it gets wild. Hamilton said that caseworkers have, quote, one of the toughest jobs there is in the state government. She said caseworkers are oftentimes in dangerous situations. Quote, we're losing 50% of our workers in the first 2 years because nobody wants to do this job. It's really hard and it's not safe. Now imagine that. In the first 2 years, 50% of your staff is leaving. Who was the lunatic who sent me a text message saying we need more money being thrown at the agency and more workers at the agency? No one wants to stay. What are some of the reasons Hamilton said? It strengthens family placements. It stabilizes caregivers. It supports frontline workers. It protects parents who are seeking help, and it creates real transparency. But parents, there's another person who was there, told The Current that the bill recognizes that protecting children requires supporting families and supporting workers and being honest about the system performance. Child welfare reform should not be driven by crisis. It should be driven by prevention, transparency, and accountability. But the biggest problem with all of this is that, one, their retention is low, and two, their results are worse. And they know this. Plus, no one can hold them to account. They're hemorrhaging. And there's no one there who is protecting the public at large when they have an agency that, in essence, can cook the books or pretty much hide them from everybody. And at the same time, the state wants to put a bigger caseload on a group of people who cannot keep employees. I think Hamilton says in this exchange, in some of the part, which was so crazy, is that many of the people are leaving aside from the fact that they're fearful. I think one caregiver with the DCF was locked in a home for 2 hours and couldn't leave because the parent was on drugs. Yeah. But they said, aside from that, like being fearful going into these families doing face-to-face, which again would lend us to understand the whole Mimi Garcia situation, right? The Mimi Torres issue turns into, wow, why did they do a face-to-face on a video conference? Well, that sounds like that was a response to caseworkers feeling fearful, showing up at homes, worried for their safety. Other people are leaving because of the things that they've seen. What are they seeing? Are they showing up at homes that have so much neglect that it is leaving these caseworkers traumatized? How can we help an organization when there's no transparency about these things? Shouldn't they be telling us? But I'll tell you why they won't. And you know it. And I know this is the deal. As I said to Josh Elliott when he was here, it's because a lot of these families are black and brown. And as many of my so-called Negro critics who listen to the show, you ain't supposed to air the dirty laundry of black and brown people. If you do, it's considered racist. So we can't solve the problem lest we be called bigots for it. So just leave them to wallow in all of that filth, all of those drugs, all of that neglect, because we can't expose the abuse that's out there, because it's never about the kids. It's never about solving problems. It's about making sure that we're not racist. Don't be racist. That's the whole reason why. No transparency, no results, no retention. But yet their argument is, let's throw more money at it. It's a crapshoot. Let's just throw some more dollars at it. How insane is that? And it's nonsense talking about they need more people joining the ranks of the DCF. Here it is, the interim telling everybody, we can't keep them. We cannot keep them. No one wants to do this job. What do you think is out there? Seriously, all of you, what do you think these people are seeing? I'd love to talk to one of these folks. On the condition of anonymity, I would love to hear the horror stories. Because I know they're there. I know they're bad. If any of these people knew, if they at least let us know what they're seeing out there, I'm sure it would completely change the game. Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. It's Reese on the Radio.
Hi, Eric Hogarth with Money Wisdom. Tune in this week, and as we discuss practical strategies to grow your portfolio, we also have a few updates on the market. Tune in on Money Wisdom, TIC News Talk 1080.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
Hi, this is Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst, certified financial planner, and the host of the Jill on Money podcast. With the new year upon us, there's no better time to take control of your financial life, and the Jill on Money podcast is here to help. It's your questions that make it possible for me to provide unconventional and, I hope, entertaining insights on your money and, more importantly, on your life. Follow and listen to Jill on Money wherever you get your podcasts.
Champions are defined not by moments of glory, but by what they put in to get there. On the court, UConn's A.Z. Fudd, Caroline Ducharme, Morgan Shelley, and Sarah Williams show what it takes. And here in Connecticut, BPS Lawyers brings that same commitment in the courtroom.
National champions on the court, local champions in the courtroom. Different arenas, same pursuit of excellence.
One full-service firm, all your legal needs, always.
BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Visit bpslawyers.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 3:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. A shakeup at the Department of Homeland Security. More from correspondent Linda Kenyon.
President Trump made the announcement on social media, making Kristi Noem the first member of the Trump cabinet to be ousted during the president's current term. Noem's departure caps a tenure filled with controversy over several issues, including immigration enforcement tactics, the deaths of 2 protesters in Minneapolis, the treatment of detainees deported to third-party countries, and her handling of disaster responses. The president announced he is replacing Noem with Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The U.S. and Israel are hammering Iran for a 6th day. Iran has kept up its retaliatory attacks on Israel, American bases, and countries in the region. The war has escalated each day since its start last Saturday, affecting an additional 14 countries across the Middle East and beyond. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer says Britain is sending more fighter jets to Qatar.
I can announce today that we're sending 4 additional Typhoon jets to join our squadron in Qatar, to strengthen our defensive operations in Qatar and across the region.
With freezing rain and other wintry weather in the forecast, the state has once again enacted the severe cold weather protocol. That'll take effect at 5 and run through at least noon on Friday. Those who need shelter or other assistance are urged to call 211 or log on to 211ct.org. Fairfield police have arrested 2 men in connection with a gold scam aimed at elderly residents. The victims lost more than $450,000 in 2 separate cases. Under arrest are Li Cheng and Feng Zhang Huang. They're both from New York City. Police say the victims were encouraged to withdraw large sums of money to convert to gold. Authorities say Britney Spears was arrested in Ventura County, California, later released. According to the county sheriff's office there, Spears was arrested 9:30 local time Wednesday, released early Thursday. And she faces a charge of driving while intoxicated. WTIC News Time 3:32. Here's the forecast.
The rest of today is cloudy with rain and drizzle continuing as we come down from a high of 38. Tonight is breezy with rain, and it'll be heavy at times, especially this evening into about 2, 3 a.m. There even can be some puddling and ponding on roadways with a low of 34. Tomorrow, periods of rain in the morning. Otherwise, it's a cloudy day with a high of 37. And Saturday remains cloudy, not as cold, with a high of 47. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
From the WTIC 24-hour traffic network in Shelton, Route 8 southbound, backups between exits 9 and 6 due to a one-vehicle crash that has the right lane blocked. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Lendseek.
TikTok parent ByteDance is on a hiring spree as it expands its artificial intelligence team in the U.S., with Bloomberg reporting that the Chinese company is hiring up to 100 people. ByteDance recently divested its U.S. TikTok operations to a group of U.S. investors, including Oracle. And ByteDance is also known for AI, recently launching the 5th generation of its C-Dance video generation model. I'm Jason Brooks.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to Lendseek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. Lendseek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. Lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Brian Shackman here for CertaPro Painters. I don't know about you, but a fresh coat of paint makes me feel good. That's why you might want to get in touch with the folks at CertaPro Painters. And now is a good time. Ask about their spring sales event. That's 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. And they can do inside, they can do outside. They did our kitchen. Man, they were timely, they were clean, and they were so respectful to everybody in our family. CertaPro Painters, by the way, independently owned and operated right here in our community. So schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. Again, that's Certa with a C.
Have bad teeth that need to be replaced? Don't like removable dentures? Worry no more. Come on down to Columbia Implant Center in Manchester any day of the week and ask for the All-on-4 procedure. Call us at 860-643-1898.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy. Enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again, my blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, only $59.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right. Seminars Thursday, March 12th, Cambria Hotel, Manchester South and South Windsor. Weight loss hypnosis, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 8 p.m. Or Saturday, March 14th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight loss, 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
I didn't realize I just kept my microphone on the entire time. Boris says that DCF Children's Services workers in Connecticut start at an hourly rate of approximately an hourly rate? Okay. Anyway, annually for a 40-hour week, requirement for the position, bachelor or master's degree in social work, closely related fields, sociology, psychology, criminal justice, general required to work as a DCF social worker, trainee in Connecticut, experience in case management, valid driver's license, also typically required by the time they are paying off their degree, and that money is likely to be eligible to retire. Yeah, you're probably right. But, I mean, I think my biggest argument here about all of this, Boris, is what are, like, a retention problem could be a host of things, right? Like, we have this problem with the police force, right? Police force has a bad reputation. Being a police officer in certain areas, you don't want to have to deal with the usual suspects, the people, the abuse. You don't want to show up in a community where everybody's treating you like you're the enemy, being yelled at, screamed at. It's not good for your morale. It's definitely not good for your ego. You know, and when I say ego, I don't mean that as a pejorative. It's just that you don't want to show up someplace and where you drive by. I remember police officers said to me not too long ago in a text message. I think I even read it on the air. So he's, driving through the neighborhood and, people throw him up the middle finger. You're the most reviled human being in the world just because you wear that uniform. Who wants to deal with that? I don't want to put up with that. I've got to run towards danger, towards those people who treat me like crap. Imagine me being in that position. Like, one day they're cursing you out. You filthy pig. And the next minute, you're the one that's dragging them out of a burning car. And you're saying to yourself, whoa. Like this guy yesterday treated me like I was a piece of garbage. Now I'm saving his life. And it's weird. It's a weird place to be. So, I don't know. I want to know what the DCF worker is dealing with, the fact that makes them go, I can't stay at this job. 2 years in, they're out. And I'm sure they walked into it all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm going to save people. I'm going to help. Then they get there and they see the drugs, the ghetto, and the people who treat you like a pariah. What do you want? We ain't got no problems. You're always coming around here messing with us. I'm just here to just make sure, I'm just doing my job. Yeah, whatever. Get out of my house. All of a sudden, that stuff turns into, it's like, wow, these people are just so uncivilized. Who cares? This is what it is. And again, until these people start getting real, nothing's going to change. They have to get real. You know? I'm not saying that everybody has to be treated like they're savages, but the savages do. You know, it's funny that people look at this stuff as a one-size-fits-all issue and then treat everybody like a one-size-fits-all people. They're not. Are there some people who've fallen on some hard times that only want to get better? Sure they are. But a savage is a savage. And you have to stop walking in there and just go, oh, they're just misunderstood. Really? How's that going to save anybody's life? How are you going to get any results there? Do you really think you're going to walk into that situation and go, I'm going to save them? I'm going to turn it all around. Really? How? You don't even understand them. And when I mean this, and this is true, when I mean you don't understand them, not like they're some alien, right? In order for you to deal with the problem, you have to understand the problem, right? You have to have a realization about the problem. This person sees me as an enemy. This person does not see me as somebody who's going to help them. So how do I address them? Do I keep sticking out my hand, pretending to, I just want to help you. Take my hand. I just want to be your friend. Take my hand. And the person keeps spitting at you. What do you do? What do? You keep trying? They'll eventually get it. No, you got to be real. You simply say, hey, I dragged myself all the way up here. I dragged myself down here to your miserable ghetto, and I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to give you the assistance that you need. It's clear that you don't want it. So you know what? Forget all that. We'll file the paperwork with the police, and we'll tell them that you're an awful parent and you're neglecting your children, and you don't care and you don't want any help, and you're not trying to help yourself. So you know what? You just deal with it that way. We'll get your kids out of the house and we'll get them into a home with a family that will take care of them. Or we'll put them in an orphanage, or we'll put them in a group home, whatever the case may be, but they clearly cannot be with you because at least they have a life way ahead of them that they can probably salvage. You savage, you go kick rocks. That's how you deal. Insensitive? Sure. Whatever. Whatever makes you feel good about it. But I'm sorry, I've been there. I wish somebody would have told my mother. You know what I learned? And I'll never forget. The first time someone asked me the question and I was real with myself. For years I lied. After all the abuse, I lied for years about the abuse my mom put on me. Well, I was a bad kid. Yeah, it's frustrating to her. She's a single mom. Well, I'm sure she, with all those kids, blah, blah. I remember the first time I came to grips with it. The first realization I had, she didn't want kids. She hated every one of us. I really believe that my mother gave birth to me to appease my father. I believe that my mother very much, in fact, I'm certain of this. My mother was one of those mothers who had a baby to keep a man. How do I know? I saw her behavior as a mother. I saw her behavior as a mother. I came to terms with it. And people have to realize that. Are there people out there? Let me go this far. And this is something a lot of people need to realize. I have to have this conversation with my own wife, Roseanne, all the time, in her own life. And it's as real as it gets, folks. It's as real as it gets. Okay? Your mother is human. Your mother is a human being. What does that mean? That means that she could be a piece of crap too. Your mother is a human being, and guess what? She could be the worst of the worst human beings ever. What you're seeing is the word mother. And you start looking at that word and you're saying, but she's my mother. It's that moniker, right? The moniker, but the mother. No, she's still a human being, right? What, you think because she's a mother, she can't be an evil reprobate? What do you think, because she's a mother, that she can't, like, completely lose it on her kids? Do you think that when she becomes a mother and she gives birth that some wings fall on her and all of a sudden she is godlike? No, she's the same human being she always has. She's always been. That's who she is. And if she's scum, she's going to be scum. Fathers too. It's funny that people have an easier time recognizing that about fathers than they do about mothers. When I was 12 years old, someone asked me, I think it was a discussion he was having with my sister, and he said, it was like, you love your mother, like everybody loves their mother. And I went, I don't think I do. And he looked at me and said, what? And said, nah, I really don't. I really don't think I love my mother. And he was like, really? You can't say that. I just said that. But you're not supposed to say, why? I'm getting, abused, tormented by the person. I get this whole unconditional thing that you're talking about, but I cannot rationalize with that. Doesn't make any sense to me. It is hard, difficult, struggling to have this connection you think I'm supposed to have just because. Do you think I'm supposed to go into the house every day, get a black eye, and then go, love you, Mom? No. It's not human. It's not reasonable. I couldn't do it. It took a lot of years of forgiveness before I came to that point. I had to be a full-grown adult before I got there. And it took a lot of healing, but not between my mother and I, for me. And if these people don't walk into those situations recognizing that that person with those kids is a human being and may very well be the most evil person in the world, the most selfish person in the world, the most navel-gazing piece of trash in the world. Doesn't matter how many kids they got. If you see those kids walking around with dirty diapers, with no shirts on, and the house looks like crud, guess what? She's scum. And you got to walk in there and realize that. You're never going to be able to save a kid if you don't. You might as well walk in there and say, see you later, kid. I'll be at your funeral. Come to terms with it, folks. It's the reason why DCF cannot release the information that they have, because they know they're seeing that. And I'm sorry, folks, that it is happening in black and brown communities. I'm sure it's happening in white ones too. But everybody's so busy trying to not appear a certain way, they're doing it at the risk of kids dying. They're doing it at the risk of kids getting harmed, and worse off. This is the one that really, really gets me. They're doing it at the risk of keeping these kids from ever being loved. There is somebody out there who will, even if their parents won't. You are sheltering, you are blocking these kids from somebody out there who will give a damn about them and keeping them in a place where they won't be. And that in and of itself should be the cruelest thing. That should be considered the cruelest thing that these organizations are doing. We'll come back. I'll take some more phone calls when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. After suffering an injury, you may face many hard questions. What will tomorrow bring? Which firm should I choose to represent me and my family? At Morgan & Morgan, we will hold your hand every step of the way. From our one-click sign-up, mobile apps, and 24/7 availability, we make it easy to get your case started right from the comfort of your couch. All firms are not the same. The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Put those shovels away because spring is finally upon us. Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. Everyone knows that spring is the time for rebirth, renewal, and new beginnings. So what better way to welcome in spring than to give your old bathroom and kitchen a fresh start, a new beginning? Visit Modern Plumbing Showroom today on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin. See the latest trends, colors, and styles, and spring into a rebirth for your kitchen and bath.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-458-9469. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-458-9469. 800-458-9469. 800-458-9469.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
I understand Kristi Noem. What was, oh, that's my fault. I don't know what the heck I just did there. That's my fault there. I totally screwed that up. Anyway, Kristi Noem was speaking just a moment ago about her firing. So I'll get to that in a quick second. I cannot believe I actually did that. I'm like double dipped on my own screen here. Anyway, my fault. Rick, yes, thank you, Rick. I apologize I didn't answer your question earlier. But yes, that's one of the sites. There are other sites that are just like that I know that Simsbury Joe checks out. He and I, it's so funny because Simsbury Joe will mention something and I know exactly where he got it from because he and I sort of surf the same places on the web for when I'm doing my research. So I have like a couple of go-tos that are out of the mainstream. So yeah, that was one of the sites that are similar like it. So just look up similar sites just like that company, just like that website, and that's exactly where Joe will probably be. He's well researched. We got traffic and weather coming up in a quick second. I'm sorry to go on that diatribe about this DCF thing. Again, not that it doesn't bring up old wounds. It's just that abuse is a real thing, and it comes in so many ways, in so many forms. And I get it that there are so many people with the most ridiculous agendas. They don't even fathom this. I can talk to Martin Looney, just like talking to Josh Elliott the other day. They don't understand this because they never had to go through it. Josh Elliott was homeschooled by a loving family. And that's fantastic. Nothing against them. We all, especially all those of us who had to deal with the system as kids, we wish we were brought up in loving families like that. Of course we did. But I understand that not everybody can. And I understand deep down what this is like. And there are two types of, there's two types of parents in this. There's some parents who just can't do the job. And when I mean just can't do it, no matter how hard they try, they fail at it. It is like a constant theme of like making bad decisions because they're not prepared. Do they ask for help? Not usually, because sometimes people are just too arrogant and too stubborn. I got this. And then there are others who are just, miscreants. You've seen these videos online of these women, I should say. I'll never forget that one woman. I think she's in a hotel room. Let's see if I can find it. It went crazy viral. And she's shouting at the camera that's talking to her in the one hotel room she's in. It's like a not even a hotel, it's a motel. The place is filled with kids. It's like 9 of them. It's everyone in the room. And the woman looks directly into the camera talking about, I got to get my welfare because who going to take care of my kids? I got all these kids and I need that welfare so I can take care of them. All their daddies in jail and they ain't taking care of them, so I need my welfare check so I can take care of my kids. And you look at that and you saying to yourself, you look at the woman and you'll absolutely roast her for saying what she said while all of those kids are there, but not one person looks at the kid and goes, damn, they got to take those kids out of the house. Do you see those kids are in T-shirt and diapers? Like what? Who does that? A lot of people. A lot. At some point, I just wish somebody would just look at the kids and just go, what about them? Forget about the mother. As the kids say, she's ratchet as all get out. But not one person, I never saw anyone talk about those poor kids. To get them the love, the care, the security that they need. Because it's never about them. That's the same thing with these bureaucrats. Dead serious. Because they do it exactly. You watch them. You never hear them talk about them. Never once. No one mentioned the kids. Go look it up. Watch any of their videos. Let's get it first. Check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. How we doing, buddy?
Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon. Doing okay. Starting off, westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulky Bridge out to 45 Flatbush, 84 eastbound slows, 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel, 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A&B and again down by exit 28. You'll see a little slow traffic again in Meriden, 19 down to 17 on the southbound side of I-91. If you are traveling on 2 westbound delays, 1D up to the 84 west merge in East Hartford, 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Oregon Bridge, 9 north again slowing 34 up to exit 37 in New Britain, westbound side of 84 tight in Cheshire, 26 up to 25, eastbound 84, look for delays now as you move by exit 16 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Look out for a possible accident on the eastbound side of 84 at the Mixmaster. And southbound on the Parkway, look for delays from exit 50 in towards the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
WTIC weather.
It's been a cloudy, cooler day with rain and drizzle, and we're coming down from a high in the upper 30s. As we head through tonight, it's breezy with some very heavy rain. That's going to kick off through the evening hours and continue as we push through midnight till about 2, 3 a.m. There will be puddling and ponding on roadways, a low of 34. Tomorrow, periods of rain in the morning. Otherwise, it's a cloudy day, a high of 37, so a little brighter for the afternoon. Tomorrow night will be cloudy with occasional rain and drizzle late, a low of 33. Saturday, the weekend will be a little bit warmer for us, but it does start off cloudy for Saturday with a high of 47. Then Sunday with partly sunny skies. That'll bump our numbers up a little bit, a high near 59. Going into Monday to start off the work week, it's mostly sunny, nice and warm, a high of 65. And as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll be pushing some records as we stay in the 60s, even venture close to the 70s. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
4 o'clock, 39 degrees, cloudy skies. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Kristi Noem is out as Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. President Trump is tapping Oklahoma GOP Senator Markwayne Mullin as her successor. She is the first cabinet member in the second Trump administration to be canned, one of the key figures in the mass deportation program. Her tenure was fraught with controversies, including her testifying before Congress that the president signed off on a $220 million advertising campaign that Trump says he knew nothing about. Reaction from lawmakers on the Nome ouster continues to come in.
I'm Allison Keyes in Washington. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says good riddance to fired Secretary Nome, but adds,
the rot is deep. The president has to end the violence.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries chimes in.
This change in personnel is welcome. Kristi Noem is a disgrace.
Jeffrey says now there's work to be done to address policy changes at ICE, including a prohibition on excessive use of force. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Day 6 of the war in Iran. Explosions are being heard throughout the Middle East. Tehran is firing back, and Israel is hitting southern Lebanon. Here's correspondent Matt Gutman in Tel Aviv.
We're seeing this war expand. Earlier today, a drone hitting Azerbaijan. We had that missile targeting Turkey, a NATO country. Obviously, yesterday, the U.S. submarine knocking out that Iranian Navy vessel way off in the Indian Ocean. Geographically, this thing is huge. And the question is this a war of attrition?
Meantime, there's new comment from the president on all this. Linda Kenyon has more.
In an exclusive interview with Axios, President Trump compared the U.S.-led attack against Iran and the death of the Ayatollah Khomeini to the U.S. overthrow of Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro, saying, quote, I have to be involved in the appointment like with Delcy, unquote. Delcy Rodriguez is Venezuela's former vice president, now serving in Maduro's place. The president acknowledged that Khomeini's son is his most likely successor, but he called him a lightweight who would extend the same policies and force the U.S. back to war in 5 years. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
CBS's Weijia Zhang has more on the effort to get Americans out of the region safely.
The State Department says it has helped 6,500 U.S. citizens leave so far, and about 10,000 others have gotten out on their own. The first U.S. government charter flight left us yesterday, 5 days into the conflict, and the White House says it will not rest until every single American has returned safely.
State Attorney General William Tong has filed his latest lawsuit against the Trump administration. In this one, Connecticut joins 24 other states in challenging the latest round of Trump tariffs. Here's WTIC's Dave Mager.
Tong explains tariffs are taxes on Americans, and this is the latest attempt to stop the president from applying them. You'll remember the Supreme Court last month ruled Trump's emergency tariffs unconstitutional. Then he quickly announced more tariffs under a different claim of authority. Those are the ones being challenged now.
And we were getting punished by the tariffs the first time he unlawfully tried to levy tariffs, and now he's whacking us again with these 15% global tariffs.
Tong and the other attorneys general also want taxpayers refunded for any tariffs deemed illegal by the courts. They say it's up to the president to find a way to do that. In Hartford, Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
Fairfield police have arrested 2 New York City men in connection with separate scams in which elderly residents were duped out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Police say 40-year-old Lei Cheng of Flushing urged one resident to withdraw money to purchase gold at a loss of $166,000. In another case, detectives say 40-year-old Feng Zheng Huang of Brooklyn, New York, swindled another resident out of more than $291,000. In both cases, the victims were instructed to give the funds to a courier. Both suspects face charges of conspiracy to commit larceny and conspiracy to commit telephone fraud. Police say more arrests are in the offing. Wall Street, the Dow down 785 points, NASDAQ's down 58, S&P down 38 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Is life insurance on your list of New Year's resolutions? Now is the perfect time to add it. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40, and her $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, stick around, folks. You know the deal. It is New Music Thursday right here on the world's most hated, most racist show on radio, Reese on the Radio. We'll play that for you. Of course, yesterday you might remember that there was supposed to be a protest in Hartford over the shooting death of Stephen Jones. And, of course, another protest, I guess, associated with that was of Mr. Walker. Forgive me, is Evard Walker is his name. I have a difficult time pronouncing his name. I don't want to be disrespectful to his name because they have nothing to do with my ire. But yes, there was supposed to be a protest, and there was a lot of hype online about said protest. And it ended miserably. It did. And as you do know, here on the program, we mock things like that with, of course, our New Music Thursday. So we've got a doozy for you. Stay tuned for that. Also, there's a lot of these people on the left screaming and hollering about the Epstein files. Well, I told you that it was all performative. And you know who you are. Because something miraculous happened yesterday in Congress. And no one seems to be talking about it. I would think they would. But nothing. Literally, hush, nothing. Mute. Weird. And we'll talk about it in the next break after New Music Thursday on the program. Roseanne will be joining us tomorrow, and we got plenty of stuff to talk about. Yesterday we did our first meeting at the Bridge Community Church. Wasn't a big crowd, but that's okay. It was still a great meeting. I'm really, really proud of her. I like supporting her doing that. So we'll talk about that and much, much more. Stand by. New music coming up when we return. Mark Christopher loves that part of the show. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. And if you're making your way toward the greater Hartford area right now, on the southbound side of 91, delays 33 down to 32 A&B, and again down by exit 28, Hartford Weather Shield line. A little slow again, 19 to 17 in Meriden. Looks good northbound 91, Cromwell up into Windsor. If you're westbound 84, you're tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound's locked up, 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 west merge. 9 northbound is tied up Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound delays 26 to 25. 84 eastbound into Waterbury slowing approaching 17 up to exit 18. Heading southbound to the Wilbercross Parkway. Look for delays now from exit 52 down into the West Rock Tunnel. South 95 New Haven's tight 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by NJM Insurance Group.
If you dread dealing with your insurance more than getting stuck in an elevator with an overshare,
bean burrito for lunch.
you have Insuranoia. You should have NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
WTIC weather.
As we head through tonight, it's going to be breezy with the chance for some rain. It'll be really heavy rain as we go through this evening with the chance for puddling and ponding on roadways. A low of 34. Tomorrow, those periods of rain will ease off after the morning hours, and the afternoon becomes cloudy, largely dry, though, a high of 37. Tomorrow night, cloudy with occasional rain and drizzle, especially as we go towards Saturday morning, a low of 33. And Saturday, we will be cloudy, not quite as cool, with a high of 47. The weekend turns a little warmer heading into Sunday with partly sunny skies. That sunshine will push us back up to 59, and Monday is mostly sunny, nice and warm with a high of 65. Right now, it's 40 in Plainville, 41 in Windsor, and 39 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, Eric Hogarth with Money Wisdom. Tune in this week, and as we discuss practical strategies to grow your portfolio, we also have a few updates on the market. Tune in on Money Wisdom, TIC News Talk 1080.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law. Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
New year, new goals. But what about a new view? Now is the perfect time to finally plan that remodel with Cristino Kitchens. Whether you're dreaming of a chef-inspired kitchen or a spa-like bathroom, a professional remodel breathes new life into your home. Located in Glastonbury, Cristino Kitchens is locally owned with over 35 years of award-winning experience. From first sketch to final tile, our expert team handles every step with precision and care. Don't just dream it, build it. Visit CristinoKitchens.com.
When was the last time you watched your home movies? Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick. And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry. Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos. We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever. It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA. Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box. New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box. Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
New Music Thursday.
It's the one and only Reese on the Radio with topical tunes.
On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Crown so small, I know everybody name in here, for real. Pull up to the rally like where y'all at. 3 lawn chairs and a half broke cat. One dude holding up a sign saying change. Worker running out, letters looking strange. Organizer takes the broke, it's about to be lit. I could've held this whole march in the Uber essay. Meanwhile on TV, you see millions in the street, cause some rich dude paid for every sign and seat. What had happened was, everybody said they was coming, then they wasn't. What had happened was, timeline chalk tough, but the sidewalks crumping. What had happened was, billionaires by crowds, we passing the bucket. What had happened was, got 3 real ones in the grandma saying, F it. Hey! Got a clipboard ready with a okay plan, but we only need 1 pen, 1 sheet, 1 hand. Speaker on the mic like, let me hear you say, hey! Echo came back like, hey! Then faded away. I seen bigger groups waiting on the table at brunch. We could fit this revolution in the back of a lunch. On the news they got fireworks, drones in the sky. We got cousin Ray Ray, 2 cars and a guy. What had happened was, look, everybody said they was coming and there wasn't. What had happened was, talk big online, in person they ducking. What had happened was, billionaires book crowds, we DIY struggle. What had happened was, got 5 real folks in the Tyler throwing muffins. See, my tire went flat. My boss called Matt. My friend's cat had a panic attack. Every excuse like a freestyle session. Whole lot of bars, not a lot of presents. Meanwhile, on the gram, they the main crusader. In real life, I'm like, oh, see you later. What had happened was, everybody said every day was coming and it wasn't. What had happened was, everybody's what.
That sounds like a hit record to me.
But the corner's still empty. What happened was, billionaires buy signs. We sure being stingy. What happened was, next time I'ma charge.
What had happened was lowercase g for Reese on the Radio. That's what had happened was. Everybody was talking big online, and 3 people showed up. And God bless them. They all showed up to show a little bit of love. You can check out what that happened was on YouTube, of course, on Reese on the Radio Records and Tapes. You can get 1 for $199. Just 1 for $199. That's $199. Just so you know. So we should put in. Oh, I don't even know what the heck that even means. Fritz, that's insane. So the Epstein files. I don't know who it is. I don't really care who it is. There are a lot of folks that are running around talking smack. We got to release the files. We got to release the files. There are victims. There are so many victims. Release the files. Okay. More files coming. Just got word there's another, 4,000 or 5,000 coming out. More files coming. But then something weird happened. I mean, probably the weirdest thing happened. I look this morning about some report, and the report is about whether or not they should release the files on Congress, whether or not they had any, let's just say, unfortunate sexual harassment claims against them. We have one member of Congress who they know was sending sexually explicit messages to a subordinate. This subordinate is now dead after setting himself on fire. There are women in Congress that are asking for those reports of any wrongdoing by members of Congress to be released to the public. They held a hearing on it. They had a vote on it. And weirdly enough, it got struck down. Why? I don't know. I thought the whole deal was about transparency, and what about the victims, they say? But see, folks, I wish that was enough to be outraged about. Because again, remember, all the people who called this show or sent these messages to my show said, let's get to the truth. Let's find out. One person told me, what's wrong? Why won't they release Hillary Clinton's deposition? Are they afraid of the truth? I haven't heard this person mention Hillary Clinton since they released it. Not one word. They learned nothing new. Did you learn anything new? I don't think so. No. But again, these are actual victims, actual cases of misconduct by members of Congress. And there was a vote to release that. Let's go over some of the people here. Let me see. This person said about the Epstein case that they should release the files, were critical of the partial release of files, said that there's a minority of files and the DOJ is violating the order to release more files. They signed a discharge petition, public statements on X by this individual accused Trump of risking the war to cover up the revelations. This individual who said all those things about the Epstein files voted no on the release of misconduct by Congress members. Who is said congressperson who voted no to release those files? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This person said they support the full release, focused on Epstein's financial transactions. Banks like J.P. Morgan signed discharge position, voted yes on the bill, and blocked Republicans' efforts in committee, but pushed for subpoenas on Epstein's bank records. Who is the person who voted no on releasing Congress's misdeeds? Maxine Waters. How about this woman? She voted yes and made public calls for prosecution, accused the Trump DOJ of cover-ups, and supported subpoenas to get to the bottom of it. She demanded immediate and the full release, criticized sweetheart deals protecting Epstein's associates, and pushed for survivor justice. Who is this politician that voted no to do their own in-house cleaning? Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Wasserman Schultz. I don't know. Sometimes I get it wrong. This person voted yes on statements slamming the Trump DOJ and pushed for hearings centering on survivors. led demands for a full release of the sexual abuse of survivors, condemned partial releases for exposing victims while shielding abusers. She even hosted survivor events. Who was this bald-headed avenger? Ayanna Pressley. Yeah. All of these women voted to block any records of Congress that may have been abusing their staffers. Any misconduct records. How about this? This guy co-authored a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi and grilled officials in hearings, tied delays to protecting powerful figures, led demands for an unredacted release of all the Epstein files, mentioned Trump in every one of them, and accused the DOJ of politically motivated withholding. Who was this politician? Jamie Raskin. He also voted no to release misconduct by Congress. This man invited one of the admitted, let's say, pimps to the State of the Union, as if to suggest that he was supporting victims of Jeffrey Epstein. Who is this person who voted no on releasing any documents on misconduct by Congress members? Ro Khanna. Yeah, Ro Khanna. And let's not forget the most important person, the guy who has been at the podium every day saying that everything is a distraction from the Epstein's file. Everything, no matter what it is. Donald Trump got a hangnail. It's a distraction from the Epstein files. Donald Trump combed his hair on the other side. It's a distraction to the Epstein files. Always, everywhere. Public statements emphasizing the need for the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Rallied Democrats to force votes on transparency measures. Strongly pushed for full release. Criticized Trump, the administration, for delays, accusing them of using distractions to withhold files. Who was that who voted no on releasing misconduct on Congress? Where it's Timu Obama, Hakeem Jeffries. What? These are prominent members of the Democrat Party who were on television all day, every day, screaming about the Epstein files. And then when their own house is called to question, they vote no. Nobody cares. Do I have to keep explaining this to you? Nobody cares about the victims. They never have. They never will. This is a political stunt. And it's sad that a lot of bozos have fallen for it. But then again, they're easy. Right? They're easy. It's a typical case of, I don't know. It's not hypocrisy. It's just stupidity. It just is. As soon as I saw that this morning, and by the way, it's nowhere. It should be the biggest story today, outside of the Kristi Noem thing, but it should be one of the biggest stories today. No one's talking about it. Go look up what the vote was that was no. It was like 343 to like 50. It's like ridiculous. Like the vote was astronomical. Republicans did vote against it too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, according to this, it should have only been Republicans, right? According to what most of these bozos are telling you, right? It should have been all the Republicans. Yeah, they don't want sexual misconduct being revealed to anybody. But these Democrats who are literally, they are on the pulpit every day. They voted against it? What? No, that can't be right. My interest is, and this is truly my interest, is that the people who say to me that they're so concerned about the truth, right? And they tell me this. They personally tell me this. I don't care about anything. I just want to know who's responsible, and I want to make sure that they're held responsible. I care about those things. And then you ask them about this, and they're like, well. Do you not understand why I consider you a joke? I hope you do. I hope you recognize I do. I see you as a joke. It's nothing serious. No serious people in this. And it can't be, for obvious reasons. There's no There's no short supply of these hypocrites. I wish you would just admit it. I tried to talk to my friend Kevin Megan. I said to the day before, in fact, yesterday when we talked, I was like, dude, just admit you want these files to crush Donald Trump because you can't stand him. And he finally admitted. He said, yep, I want them to crush Donald Trump. I want these files to be attached to him so that he's done. And I appreciate him. I totally appreciate him. It's exactly how it's supposed to be done. Just tell the truth. You want these files to crush that man. Anyway, no big deal. When we come back, Christoph Murphy's in the news. I have to play this. It's not my fault, but it's just there. He's got another conspiracy theory. He just does. Apparently, this Polymarket thing. Are you familiar with this? Roland, do you ever try Polymarket or this? What's it called? That's the other one called Kelsey? Yeah, you don't play anything? Okay. So apparently the Polymarket thing is, and I'm not going to lie, I'm a little interested in it. Just at least see it. So the Polymarket thing is that you can bet on anything. Doesn't matter what it is, right? You can bet on like the craziest stuff. Like, is Zoran Mamdani going to, I don't know, eat a falafel? It's like, some of the stuff is crazy. And it's true. Like, they will put anything on the Polymarket and see what kind of traction it gets. And if you do well, you make, considerable amount of money for it. Well, now Chris Murphy is complaining about the war in Iran, and he believes there's some sort of insider track to the war in Iran and the Polymarket. But again, this is crazy. If I was a bettor on Polymarket, I would have made $1 million on Friday. I totally would have, because apparently there was a Polymarket that says that we were going to war on Saturday. And there were 6 particular people who were on the Polymarket who made this bet that Chris Murphy suggests was insider information from the Trump administration. Everybody knew. Like, it's ridiculous. But we'll play the audio when we return, so stand by for that. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher is here in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hi, Reese. Thank you very much. If you are heading toward the Hartford area, southbound 91, look for delays from 34 down to 32 A and B. Again, 27 to 28. Another bump down by exit 22. The Route 9 interchange in Cromwell. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Eastbound 84 got delays a mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound slows, 1D up to the 84 West merge. 291 eastbound is sluggish. I-91 over to exit 2 in South Windsor. If you are traveling into Middletown, both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound losing speed 32 to 34 as you move Berlin into New Britain. Westbound side of 84 delays 26 up to 25 in Waterbury. Southbound on the Parkway, you're slowing from 52 down into the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound Parkway, you've got delays now as you move up into Orange from exit 42A all the way up into the area of the West Rock Tunnel. And 95 southbound New Haven slowing 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
It's been a cloudy, cooler day with rain and drizzle, and we're coming down from a high in the upper 30s. As we head through tonight, it's breezy with some very heavy rain. That's going to kick off through the evening hours and continue as we push through midnight till about 2, 3 a.m. There will be puddling and ponding on roadways, a low of 34. Tomorrow, periods of rain in the morning. Otherwise, it's a cloudy day, a high of 37, so a little brighter for the afternoon. Tomorrow night will be cloudy with occasional rain and drizzle late, a low of 33. Saturday, the weekend will be a little bit warmer for us, but it does start off cloudy for Saturday with a high of 47. Then Sunday with partly sunny skies. That'll bump our numbers up a little bit, a high near 59. Going into Monday to start off the work week, it's mostly sunny, nice and warm, a high of 65. And as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll be pushing some records as we stay in the 60s, even venture close to the 70s. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
4:30, 39 degrees under cloudy skies in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. We've got that winter weather advisory that goes into effect at 5, and that'll carry us right through into early tomorrow morning. The Secretary for the Department of Homeland Security has been relieved of her duties.
President Trump has fired his embattled Homeland Security chief amid growing criticism of her leadership. Just this week, Kristi Noem faced scathing bipartisan criticism on Capitol Hill over her handling of the administration's immigration crackdown and disaster response. On social media, the president says he'll nominate GOP Senator Markwayne Mullin to succeed Noem, and he's hoping to bridge a stark divide with Democrats.
I want to try to earn their support, and I'm going to be very open and honest with them.
The president's announcement came minutes before Noem addressed law enforcement officers in Nashville and did not mention her firing. Instead,
I will forward those grant opportunities to all of you,
seemingly suggesting she'd stay on the job. Top House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries is glad she won't.
Kristi Noem is gone. Good riddance.
The president's tabbing her as a special envoy for his new Western Hemisphere security initiative. Haya Panjwani, Washington.
Darien police say a homeowner fired a gun at 3 burglars who gained entry to a home on 5 Mile River Road this morning. Officers say the suspects were able to find a key hidden on a front porch. One was armed with a gun, police say. A homeowner fired their weapon and the 3 fled. Later, a juvenile matching the description of one of those suspects turned up at Bridgeport Hospital with a gunshot wound, and that investigation is ongoing. 2 New York City men facing charges they duped elderly residents in Fairfield out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Police say in both cases, they urged the victims to withdraw money and give it to couriers for the supposed purpose of converting it into gold. And the legislature's Aging Committee met today. They are considering private equity and its involvement in nursing homes across the state. On Wall Street today, the Dow lost 784 points, made somewhat of a rebound after having been down over 1,100 at one point. The NASDAQ lost 58, the S&P was down 38 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Sex, intimacy, love. These 3 things are critical to a good relationship. That's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Northeast Men's Health, we're ED experts with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or visit northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, let's get to the phones since we are pretty much halfway through the show. Let's start with Steve in Andover. He's first up. What's up, Steve?
Hey, good afternoon.
What do you got, buddy?
So a couple things I was going to talk about. One, the whole Plum Island thing from earlier. Yeah. I've been saying for years that you ask all my friends, they'll tell you that's my main government conspiracy theory is that. And I know Joe talked about the tick thing, but I think it goes way farther than that, because if you look at where Eastern equine encephalitis and West Nile virus were first kind of found in the United States, they were both down on the Connecticut-Rhode Island line.
Yep.
Obviously, that's just a seagull or a crow's, flight from Plum Island.
Mm-hmm.
So it's obvious the U.S. government has been playing with, bio-germ warfare. You know what I mean?
And they're so reckless.
island.
They're so reckless with it. This is the thing about that boggles the mind. Every time you screw with nature, these guys drop the ball. They fumble it every time. It's astonishing. It's like, if that's not warning, that just says, stop screwing with this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. So, it goes beyond just the ticks. It's the other stuff that they've bungled and managed to let off that island. The other thing that you might be interested in knowing, the whole DCF thing.
Yeah.
So your comments about, DCF and black and brown people in Connecticut and yada, 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 all the stuff you're talking about. So right now, the DCF 136 form, which is what mandated reporters have to sign or fill out when they suspect abuse, doctors, me and one of my jobs, actually me and two of my jobs. But that now has, the newest version of it, has boxes for the races of the people that are being,
investigated?
Or who are at risk.
Okay.
And the race of the person who's submitting the form.
Wow!
Because DCF is now alleging that the black and brown communities are overrepresented. That's the term that we're hearing in our renewal for EMT.
Right.
Are overrepresented in the state of Connecticut as far as referrals go.
Right.
So it's only a matter of time before we end up with a Barone situation in DCF where they're going to somehow, spin this whole thing.
Yeah, they equate it to saying that the reason why the black families or the brown families are being reported on is because the people who are reporting the neglect are white.
Exactly. Yep. You have white, racist EMTs, racist paramedics, racist cops.
That's right.
You know what I mean, racist school nurses who are all going to be now, tracked on this new form. And so, what's that going to, amount to? You know what I mean? You're going to have, it's crazy. Rather than saying, hey, let's work on why these kids are being abused in the first place. No.
Yeah.
We'll go potentially attack the people who are doing the reporting as racist because, dude, it's the same nonsense.
Can you imagine that? The objective, think about what's going to happen with that, right? So then when the numbers come out that the reporting is completely biased, right? We find out that a considerable number of white women and men are putting all of these reports in on the black and brown kids. And then what? How will they decide it? How will the government decide to deal with said problem? They'll go, we need sensitivity training for the reporters of the abuse.
Right. And in the meantime, still fail to support the kids who are being abused.
Yep.
So they'll dump money into the nonsense for a study like this.
Yep.
But then not turn around and do the right thing on the other end.
Got to go to a break, Steve, but thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, man. Let's go to Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. 100% right.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading toward Hartford right now and you're on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays as you push down by exit 35. Again, from exit 33 Jennings Road down to 32 A&B. Another bump 27 to 28. A little slow again as you approach the Route 9 interchange in Cromwell. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound sluggish. 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. 2 westbound slowing. 1D up to the 84 West merge. A little sluggish. 291 eastbound. I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Again, 9 northbound slows. 32 in Berlin up to 37 in New Britain. If you are traveling on the eastbound side of 84, sluggish approaching 17 to 18. Westbound 84 is running slow from 26 up to 25 again at the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway delays from exit 52 down into the West Rock Tunnel. And on the northbound side of the Parkway, you're going to see delays now in orange from exit 42A up to exit 46 in New Haven. South 95 tight 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
We continue to say a little bit chilly out there as we keep things breezy with the rain coming through tonight. And there's going to be some very heavy rain as we go into the evening hours and into the overnight just beyond midnight or so. We'll continue to deal with that heavy rain, puddling, ponding on the roadways. A low of 34 tomorrow. Periods of rain in the morning. Otherwise, though, it's a cloudy day with a high of 37. As we head into tomorrow night, cloudy with occasional rain, even drizzle late, as we hit a low of 33. Saturday will remain cloudy, not quite as cold with a high of 47. But once we start to see the sun on Sunday, this is where we start to turn those numbers around. Sunday afternoon, a high of 59. And Monday, we will be mostly sunny, nice and warm with a high of 65. Right now, it is 40 in Bloomfield, 39 in Middletown, and 39 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
At McDonald's, get 2 of your favorites for less. Enjoy 2 Filet-O-Fish, 2 10-piece chicken nuggets, or mix and match for $6. Real and 2 classics. Price and participation may vary.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and at newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
For all station contest rules, go to WTIC.com and click contests. That's WTIC.com and click contests.
Brian Jackman here for Serta Pro Painters. It's time. We're about to go to springtime, and the spring sales event could get you 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. And Serta Pro, those folks are awesome. They're independently owned and operated right here in our community. They did my kitchen. They were there on time. The estimate was excellent, and they did, by the way, a great job. Serta Pro Painters. Schedule your free estimate online at certapro.com. That's Serta with a C.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On NewsTalk 1080, WTIC.
Let's get back to the phones. Lori is calling in Glastonbury. Hello, Lori.
Hey, Reese, how are you?
I'm good. What do you got?
So, talking about the DCF situation,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that all of it's coming to light and that people are finally seeing that there needs to be some type of change to the agency and how everything is done, how it could be more proactive than reactive. In terms of why do people leave, I've been in a field associated to DCF, not working for DCF, but associated with DCF for since 2016. I'll tell you that I'm starting to feel a little crispy around the edges. The burnout rate is pretty high because it is such an emotionally demanding job.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
What can you guide me as to what you would like to know?
Okay. When you say it's emotional, I would only imagine, and I'm saying this, I apologize if it's going to come off as sexist, but I think that this would be the case no matter man or woman, but I think as a woman, are you a mother?
No, sir. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to have kids.
All right, but that nurturing factor is there, but nonetheless, when you're around young children, as you work with this, and if you see what they're going through, this has an emotional. There's an emotional attack that happens when you see kids in these situations.
But I work with both men and women. My colleagues, there are both men and women. Men will report the same thing. Okay. That there are cases that will just require a lot in terms of working with the parents and trying to make them better parents and trying to ensure that the kids are well cared for.
Mm-hmm. Where does the difficulty lie in those situations?
Sometimes it's the reactions of the parents.
Yeah. Is it overwhelmingly the parents, or is it 50-50?
It can be 50-50 because it depends on how much trauma the kids have incurred.
Sure.
Through their situations. I know I've had stories during my own career where I just couldn't. It took everything in me to try and to keep my professionalism when working with the parent, knowing what was allowed to happen to the children.
Talk to me a little bit about that. Don't let that one go. That's an important part here. So when you say your frustration, I don't want you to. Well, I kind of do. Are you saying that your frustration was with the parents, that you're trying to sort of ease them into how they can be better at parenting? The back and forth between them, they were either reluctant, stubborn, whatever. Your frustration grew. Is it something along those lines?
It can start with just the thought of how could you allow this to happen?
Okay.
That's kind of where it can start.
Right.
And it's because I know the background of the situation, and so it can make things challenging. But
I think, Lori, before I let you go on, let me stop you here because there's an important point that you just made that I want to stick to for a second. I'll let you go on. So you said that you would see the parent or the child, for that matter, in a situation, and you thought to yourself, how could you let it get this bad or get in this place? I'm going to go backwards into what my point was in the beginning when I said about my own mother. That sort of pedestal that we put that role of mother on, that you see the situation that they're in and you're going, how can you let it get to there? Do you think that you're kind of putting that moniker as mother in front of her that just says it doesn't make sense that you would allow this to happen to your own children? You're a mother, which in essence means that she should instinctively behave a certain way because of that moniker. Yes or no?
It's regardless. It's regardless whether it's mother or father.
Is there a likelihood that maybe regardless of their station in life with their children, that they're just bad people?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
There's been times where there's no desire to change or grow or learn.
Right.
A denial of even the situation itself. And so at that point, it's like, okay, well, I think at this point only Jesus can help you. And I say that seriously because...
No, I know you meant it seriously. I'm just saying that's how exhausted you are of the situation. You know that there's nothing you can do. You have no control of this situation.
Right. But let me also say, there's so much... You were talking about you're denying people who could care for the children the opportunity. Foster care is a hard piece of all of this, but it really can be a ministry to those children who have gone through things that they never should have gone through.
Yeah.
But there's a dearth of foster parents because nobody wants to deal with these kids.
Yeah.
And so that's a problem. That is definitely a problem. I'm just tacking that on because...
No, I agree with you. I think part of the problem is there is a restriction in those areas. I'll give you a perfect example. One of the biggest problems in foster care is that there is a demand to keep the children together. Understood. I would say one of the barriers are they don't make this interstate as far as adoption is concerned. A kid can be from New York, and people will say, well, we don't want to get the kids too far away from the family from that state and like moving to Oklahoma. No offense, but Oklahoma might be a better place for them. You are limiting your options for the child to get someplace that is safe and that is loving if you are trying to keep them close to the parent that is abusing them. I'm sorry, but look, this is as you just displayed here, that you have some parents who are just a lost cause. If I'm a DCF worker, I don't want to be advocating to make sure that those kids are as close to this reprobate as possible. I'm trying to get these people as far away from this parent as possible. They don't need to have this child, especially if we know that, look at what they're creating in all of this. What do you think happens to this kid if you keep them? It keeps them next to this parent who obviously doesn't love them and doesn't care about them. This kid is going to end up being a ward of the streets. That's what's going to happen. This kid's going to join a gang to find love. This kid's going to be a drug dealer to find finances. He is going to lose interest in school and in learning, and he is going to be another blight and another statistic. We have to really care about the kids, and in doing so, we have to take the risk of putting them someplace where they are going to flourish as opposed to looking nice on paper.
Well, all right then.
I'm sorry, but you were witness to this.
There's anything I can really add to that?
But Lori, you were a witness to this. And I'm just saying, look at the way that it's being done. I'm going to use your experience versus my experience in this as a child of abuse, right? And I'm looking at you as a person who tried to help a family and a child of abuse. Who do you think, and seriously, and if it's against what I'm saying here, I totally accept that. No harm, no foul. But who's got the better solution here? We do.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Are we going to deal with the status quo as DCF sees it, or as the foster care system sees it, or do we have to really pull out all the stops to get the kids the help they need?
Well, and again, that which leads me back to I'd like to see, and a lot of there are some really great DCF social workers.
I'm sure there are.
And supervisors. I've had the privilege and pleasure of working with them, and they truly do believe that they are doing what's best, looking out for the needs of the children. But it is they are overloaded and overworked, and I really do hope that there is courage enough to revamp and redo the whole system. And it's so stupid to me that, let's put all the homeschooling kids on the DCF files, as if those social workers don't have enough to do. Are you freaking kidding me?
I know.
Like, come on.
That's what I said. The crazy part is that according to the stats, according to the data, there are anywhere between 1,100 and 1,300 DCF workers currently. Here's the interim head of the DCF who's saying that they've lost 50% of their employees who have signed on in the last 2 years. So in essence, they're decreasing the retention levels. They have a decrease in caseworker load, caseworker personnel, and they wish to add more to that, as if to suggest the death of Mimi Torres wasn't enough.
Yeah, it's just amazing to me that they want to add more workers or more work to the workers' caseloads.
Yeah, it does.
But really for nothing, only because they're mad that they're not able to
teach those kids anymore.
The education.
Yeah, they're losing those kids. And this is an opportunity for the government to look at itself and say, why are we losing the kids? And instead of doing that, we attack those who have said enough of your nonsense in our school system. Right? No self-reflection at all. Let's punish them. Don't want to come here? We'll punish you for it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Thank you, Lori. I appreciate it. Love the exchange.
Thank you.
You got it. Let's go to my good friend Rudy, chilling out in Florida. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I'm calling about Epstein, but I actually went to Plum Island.
Okay.
And you have to have callers or listeners because you had Connecticut, UConn's agriculture school, you got the Yale labs, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Someone knows somebody that worked out there. So I worked have you ever been to Block Island?
I've heard of it. I've never been there.
It's off of Point Judith, Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for Interstate Navigation for 1 year between high school and the Army.
Oh, okay.
And we were out of Point Judith, and we had the largest ship. It was called the Carol Jean. And then we had a one a day run from New London, one a day run from Newport, and we had like 6 round trips to Point Judith. Every 6 months, we got yanked out of the rotation for 3 days. We got loaded up, sailed over Long Island Sound, docked at Plum Island, and unloaded their supplies.
Ooh.
Could not go off the dock.
Wow.
Security was there. There's a lot more stuff that's going on that island besides Lyme disease. They had foot-to-mouth disease escape. They had swine flu escape. They had African swine flu escape. It's the Army's biolab for agriculture. So what they would do is if they attacked Russia, they would drop whatever they're researching out there on cattle fields and kill all your cattle so you couldn't eat.
You're done.
Guess who their cousin is? Guess who Plum Island's cousin is? You were in Boston with WRKO, right?
Yeah.
You had heard of Natick Army Lab.
Yes.
That is where all artificial. The head of Natick Army Lab in 1980, he left to go work for what fast food company?
I don't remember. No.
McDonald's.
I knew you were going to say
it.
No, that's why I said no.
The McNugget, the McRib. He invented all that crap, the McChicken. He also invented all that Army food, and I don't know what your wife was in, all the military food, the MREs.
Oh, the MREs.
You add hot water to this little brick, and it becomes a hamburger patty. That was hip. And then he went to McDonald's. And now look at McDonald's. Those 2 labs have researched all these diseases that can be spread through agriculture. It's a dirty, dirty island. And guess what? The good news is in 2028, it will be all relocated to Kansas.
Wow, that's fantastic. Beautiful. They'll interstate travel and everything, right? That shouldn't be a problem.
I want to use your wife. Yeah, the whole Midwest will be. I want to use your wife's example from 2 Fridays ago.
What was that?
When you got all your kids screaming, the one that screams the loudest and no one's admitting they did something wrong is usually the one doing something wrong that's trying to pin it on someone else.
Couldn't agree more.
These Democrats are pervert, dirty people. 90%. If we release the Epstein records, 95% of them would be non-Republican, guaranteed. And let's not, they can bring Trump in it all you want.
Yep.
But what party did Trump belong to? Who was he partying with? The Clintons?
Good point.
Chuck Schumer. When all this stuff happened, he was not a conservative. He's still not a conservative, but he wasn't associated with Republicans. He was hobnobbing with the Clintons at all those parties.
Sure enough.
You see the pictures when he's in his 40s with
a lot of money changing hands, Rudy.
Like all the rest of you perverts.
That's such a good point. Thank you, boss. I appreciate you, man. Let's take another break. Let's get a check with weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. And this traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. And if you're heading on the southbound side of I-91, look for slow traffic approaching 33 down to 32 A and B. In Hartford, south of downtown, tight again from 27 down to exit 28. Another slowdown down by exit 23 in Rocky Hill. If you are traveling westbound 84, slowing approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45. Eastbound 84 is locked up about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 2 westbound's a little slow as you merge to the 84 west. 9 northbound, slow traffic Harbor Park to the Evergreen Bridge in Middletown. 9 north again, slowing 32 in Berlin up to 34 in New Britain. If you're traveling in the westbound side of 84, a little tight 26 to 25 in Waterbury. Again at the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Waterbury slow 17 to 18. And again, as you moved on by the 691 interchange, southbound Parkway delays from exit 52 down to the West Rock Tunnel, and 95 southbound slowing 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic moves slow, but your transformation shouldn't. Columbia Implant Center provides full dental implants in just one visit. Open 7 days a week in Manchester to fit your busy life. Get your smile back today at ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
The rest of today is cloudy with rain and drizzle continuing as we come down from a high of 38. Tonight is breezy with rain, and it'll be heavy at times, especially this evening into about 2-3 a.m. There even can be some puddling and ponding on roadways with a low of 34. Tomorrow, periods of rain in the morning. Otherwise, it's a cloudy day with a high of 37. And Saturday remains cloudy, not as cold, with a high of 47. This is meteorologist Melissa Constancer in the WTIC Weather Center.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
39 degrees at 5 o'clock. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. President Trump has demoted Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Correspondent Nancy Cortez has the latest.
She was already, we understand, on thin ice given the handling of arrests in Minneapolis, Minnesota over the past couple of months.
Noem appeared before Congress this week. President Trump has tapped Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin for the post.
He will likely have an easier confirmation process because he is so well known to these senators. And of course, Oklahoma is a deep red state, which means that his seat is not necessarily in any danger of turning from Republican to Democrat, which is another reason that he was probably an attractive candidate for the president for this role.
In a statement, 3rd District Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro says, quote, "Good riddance." This closes perhaps the most corrupt chapter in the short history of the Department of Homeland Security. At every term, Secretary Noem exploited the status and influence of her office, end quote. The war with Iran is expanding in the Middle East as the U.S. and Israel exchange a new wave of strikes with Tehran.
What we are now seeing is basically a race against the clock. Can the U.S. and Israel destroy Iran's missile capability before they run out of those anti-missile interceptors? We also understand that the longer this war lasts, and Secretary Hegseth is talking about up to 8 weeks, the more it favors Iran, because for them, the bar is very low.
Correspondent Matt Gutman in Tel Aviv, and the U.S. is now closing its embassy in Kuwait after it was struck multiple times this week. President Trump faces another lawsuit over his tariffs. State Attorney General William Tong says the U.S. already owes refunds to taxpayers after the Supreme Court ruled Trump's emergency tariffs were illegal.
Because he exercised not one, but now 2 powers at least that he does not have the right to exercise, that he basically made up. The result is we don't know how you're supposed to effectuate refunds. That's on him. He needs to figure that out and give us our money back, like now.
After his Supreme Court loss, the president announced a set of new tariffs under different authority. The AG and 2 of his colleagues say those are also unconstitutional, and they are suing again. 49 lawsuits filed by Tong against the president thus far. There's a bill being considered in the legislature's Aging Committee that would limit the extent private equity allowed in running nursing homes. Democratic State Representative Mary Fortier of Bristol points to Athena Healthcare Systems, which announced plans to close 2 nursing homes in her city 2 years ago, citing financial difficulties.
I'm not even sure if they are characterized as a private equity firm, because my understanding is that they were primarily one owner. But again, one owner that was moving money around and certainly over leveraging the funds they did have and not always providing the care.
State also working to crack down on private equity and its role in hospitals after California-based Prospect Medical Holdings ran Waterbury, Manchester, and Rockville hospitals into financial distress before recently selling them off. Man's under arrest facing animal cruelty charges in New Haven. It was last March 25th that police say they were contacted from a local veterinarian regarding a 6-month-old puppy, Bella. The canine was suspected to have been a victim of animal cruelty. The dog's owner, 24-year-old Enquan Brown, reported the pup couldn't stand and wouldn't eat. The Brown said the dog was hit with an handheld shower head during a bath. An examination turned up showing a fracture to one leg, a ruptured lung, and chronic rib fractures in the dog, which later died. Brown now faces animal cruelty charges of animal cruelty resulting in death. Bond set at $25,000. Wall Street, not another good day, as the Dow did rebound somewhat, but still shed 784 points. The Nasdaq lost 58. The S&P was down 38 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text RULE to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text RULE to 215215. That's RULE to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, we're back. Reese on the Radio. Bill, I'll get to you in 2 seconds. So I promise, but we're going to get into traffic real quick, so I don't want to cut off your call. So please be patient with me. I really do appreciate that. Wendy, you did show up in the chat room later. Wendy out in Newtown is showing us like, where's everybody? I'm like, yeah, it gets quiet at a certain hour. Roland and I were just having a discussion behind the scenes because we usually have guests at about 4 o'clock. That's generally when we do. And I was thinking about it. I was like, there's so many people who get into their car roughly at about 5 o'clock. And I was thinking about pushing it back because I got so much stuff that I need to cover in the beginning, and then it gets interrupted. There's like, do you know how many days it's been since I have not done the music report? I haven't done the stupidest thing I read today. These things are important to me. And I haven't done them. So I'm like, I want to get back to doing them. So we're going to try something new in the coming days. We'll let you know all about it. By the way, I meant to tell everybody this. I think it's next week. I'm positive it's next week. In fact, let me double check that it's next week because Stephanie told me this, and I want to go here and check. It looks like we are going to have on the 10th, 5 days from now, which I think is a Thursday. What the heck? When is it? Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Okay, yes, you're right. It is Tuesday. So next week, Tuesday, we are going to have, and now I've forgotten his name, David Hopkins. No relation. He's going to be on the program on Tuesday. Who is David Hopkins? I cannot believe that Steph pulled this off. He's the president of the Urban League. Yeah. So we're finally going to have... Did she? She's supposed to come to my office. Did she leave? No. Stephanie, you cannot leave. What are you doing? Is she leaving the building? Like leaving? She walked past me already? Oh, darn it. She was supposed to come in here and talk to me. Anyway, I'll call her. But yeah, David Hopkins, president of the Urban League, is coming in. It may be some fire. We'll tell you all about it soon. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Eastbound 84, you've got delays about a half mile before 46th Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. A little slow again, 58 out to 59. And the 384 interchange. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to 45 Flatbush. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Again, 29A down through exit 28. Another bump down by exit 23, West Street and Rocky Hill. Now, if you are traveling 2 westbound, you're a little tight. 1D up to the 84 West Merge. 9 northbound, Middletown slows Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound, Berlin into New Britain slows 32 to 34. Westbound 84 is slowing in Cheshire 26 to 25 again at the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound, some tight traffic 17 to 18 in Waterbury. And again, moving down the Big Hill, 26 down in toward the 691 interchange. Southbound Parkway delays 52 into the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound on the Parkway, you're going to see some slow traffic now in orange as you move up on exit 42B up to exit 46 in New Haven. 91 southbound delays from exit 6 in toward the 95 interchange. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
As we head through this afternoon, as we continue through this evening, it's breezy and we've got that chance for rain continuing. There will be some puddling and ponding on the roadways as we go later into the evening and overnight due to some of the heavy rain that is currently expected to unfold here for us. Tomorrow, there will still be some periods of rain for the morning, otherwise cloudy with a high of 37. Tomorrow night will be cloudy with occasional rain and drizzle heading in late, a low of 33. Saturday, we're remaining cloudy and not as cold, thankfully, high of 47, but it gets even warmer on Sunday when the sun starts to return. It's partly sunny with a high of 59 Sunday. Monday will be mostly sunny, nice and warm with a high of 65. Right now it's 41 in Windsor and 39 in Rocky Hill and 39 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking to retire with confidence? Get the answers you need. Tune in to Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman. Sunday mornings at 9:30 on NewsTalk WTIC AM. Strategies, insights, and smart retirement talk. Don't miss it.
Brian Jackman here for Serta Pro Painters. Listen, I had an incredible experience with them. They gave me a great estimate. They were there on time. And when they came to paint our kitchen, they were in and out. And when they were gone, it was like they were never there, except they left a beautiful kitchen. Maybe it's time for you to take a look at their spring sales event. You can get 10% off qualifying projects through May the 15th. Serta Pro Painters, they're independently owned and operated right here in our community. So you might want to give them a call. Start spring off right. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Serta with a C.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-747-7676. 800-747-7676. Again, that's 800-747-7676.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
No, I am not related to Sir Anthony Hopkins. Ridiculous. Well, then again, I might be. There was a slave trade, you know. I doubt it. Although it'd be great to have that bloodline, Sir Anthony Hopkins. He's a friend of Bill, too. I love Anthony Hopkins. I always thought he was fascinating, brilliant even. I saw a movie with him, a movie I would have never seen, and I watched it, and I got so caught up in that movie. It was so good. So good. And the name is escaping me now. Someone will tell me in the chat room. It was Aidan Quinn, Anthony Hopkins, Brad Pitt, Western. It comes to me, and a river runs through it. I'm almost certain that's the name of it. Legends of the Fall. That's what I got wrong. Yes, Legends of the Fall. How did you know that? Did you see that? Oh, Legends of the Fall. Really? Legends of the Fall. What a movie! I would have never said that. I thought it was like there's just some vehicle for Brad Pitt, because that's all the girls would talk about. Brad Pitt, he's so great in it. And I was sitting one day bored, watching movies and a VHS, and the girl I was dating had it, and I put it in, and I watched the whole thing, and I went, wow. I was like completely, still one of the best movies I've seen. Long time. Bill is in Granby. Thank you for holding on, Bill. I apologize for the wait.
Yeah, no worries. Hey, your shows have been great, Reese, lately. They're always great. But DCF and Josh Elliott with his mandatory vaccines and Plum Island today. I'm disappointed. I missed the conversation, but I am an expert in Plum Island.
Are you?
Yes. So, if you want to understand Plum Island, you have to read 3 books.
Okay.
You got to read Bitten, Lab 257, which is a tome about Plum Island, and then Operation Paperclip. So, Plum Island was a level 4 lab, like a Wuhan-style lab.
Okay.
It was started when World War II was over, and we rounded up the varsity squad of rocket Nazis and bioweapons chemical Nazis, and we put them on Plum Island. We asked them where they wanted to operate, and the Russians got the JV team. We got the varsity team. And we stuck they had been working in Germany on an island that was just like Plum Island, hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
And so when they saw Plum Island, that's where they decided they wanted to put their weapons lab. And what they were doing over there, the FDA was the cover for the operation.
Right,
They
I
were
do know that.
They were experimenting on animals. They had the largest tick colony. They gathered ticks from all over the world to test to see which ones were the most aggressive, which ones could survive heat and cold, and then they weaponized ticks, and they created the Lyme virus over there on purpose, along with a lot of these other West Nile, the bird flu, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, which if you look, there's an outbreak of Rocky Mountain spotted fever on the East Coast.
Yep.
Yes. So they were doing all of these things, and at one point there was a storm in the 90s, and their generator, the backup generator that ensured that they had power for their zero gravity system and they had to get rid of all the waste from the animals. They had a special sewage system where they boiled the sewage and treated it before they dumped it out in Long Island Sound. Well, they lost power, and all of the viruses and everything, all the sewage was going into the Sound untreated, which is most likely how we lost our lobsters in Connecticut from that release.
At least that's the going theory.
Yes, that's the going theory. But all the information, if you read Lab 257, all the information's been declassified.
Okay.
And the book Lab 257 is the first-hand accounts of what was going on there by the people that worked there. It's absolutely an amazing read.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And you know what is so funny? You want to talk about art mimicking life. As you're describing this, and it shows you how simple I am in all of this, there is a scene, you probably will remember it. There is a scene in one of the Captain America movies that they actually lay out exactly what you're talking about, how Hydra, when they were supposed to be stopped, Hydra ended up coming out of Germany, brought to the United States into New Jersey to work for the United States government, which in essence is the dumbest thing that you could do, to bring the enemy to actually work on American bioweapons.
Right. Well, but the Nazis were so far ahead of us with rockets and with airplanes and with the bioweapons.
Yeah.
At the end of the war, the generals and the civilian leaders decided that it was way too risky to allow the Nazis to be on anybody else's payroll.
Right.
And so, but it was also there was no way that you were going to be able to explain that to the American people. They wouldn't accept it.
That's
so
right.
They did all of Operation Paperclip is about all of the way that we rounded the Nazis up and put them on the payroll without disclosing what was actually going on.
That is so insane. That, to me, you know what? Now I have to look it up now. I totally do.
Yeah, you got to read those books. They're amazing. And you know, if you look at all of the weapons that we use today are all descended from the Nazi V-1, the Nazi V-2, the submarine-launched missiles, the Trident missiles, and the nukes that launch. Those were all Nazi concepts. And in fact, when Sputnik went up before we had anything in space,
right?
We had Werner von Braun then, and Kennedy went to von Braun and said, you know, what's going on? And von Braun basically told them that the United States engineers were on the wrong track, and they needed to let him take over control of the rocket program. And within 6 months, he would surpass what the Russians were doing because they had the junior varsity team, and he had the varsity team. But they weren't letting the varsity play. So that's when Kennedy gave control of the space program over to von Braun, and our rockets started flying straight. And that's when we were, we put together the Mercury and the Saturn rocket program under von Braun's leadership.
Wow. And there you have it. Thank you so much, Bill, and thank you for staying on hold. I really do appreciate this conversation.
Yeah, you're welcome. Grab those books. You'll love them.
I am. I'm totally going to do it after the show. I really appreciate you, sir. You have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too.
Thank you. Bill and Granby. Great stuff. I love every bit of that. It's just so disgusting. It just is. Yeah, Wendy just said it too. Wendy said, this could be a movie. It's so wild. What was the name of that Captain America movie, Roland? I know you watch all of those. The ones where it's the one where Captain America is a fugitive and they end up back in his old boot camp at Fort Dix. What was the name of that? Yeah, remember he was a fugitive from justice because he wouldn't tell. Remember Nick Fury gets shot? It's Winter Soldier. Yeah, I'm positive it's Winter Soldier. It's before Civil War. It's, in fact, yes, that's the whole thing, how the whole thing breaks down. It starts off with Nick Fury gets shot. Robert Redford's character thinks that Captain America knows something that Nick Fury told him. He refuses to tell him. That's when they attack Captain America in the elevator. And that was
Civil War.
No, it isn't. Civil War is the next one where he's trying to find. Remember, he fights Bucky in Winter Soldier. He saves Bucky
in Civil
War. So, but the part that I'm talking about is what's so brilliant is there's this whole monologue by the German Hydra scientist.
Yeah.
When they get into that bunker, the computer bunker that's underneath Fort Dix, and he lays out exactly how Hydra ended up being hired. When they are captured by the American government, they're brought to the United States to that lab underneath Fort Dix to work for the American government. Secretly, they were underhandedly,
Hydra. That's what the creepy little dude, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And what he was saying was, and he explains the whole thing in the monologue, talking about how being brought to the United States, what Hydra did was just infiltrate everything they were doing in the United States. Bringing Hydra into the United States was their big undoing, and it was how the collapse of S.H.I.E.L.D. happened. So when I'm hearing this, talking about how we brought Nazis to Plum Island, what could go wrong? I mean, it seems like that's where the whole sort of premise of this movie was in essence, he's describing Plum Island. If you think about it.
You think Captain America was describing Plum Island, the guy in there from Hydra?
How could it not? You have to, listen, after everything you just heard, go back and watch that scene. I'm going to do it during the commercial break. Go back and watch that scene and tell me that isn't exactly what Bill described. It sounds, as I'm hearing now, listen, you know me, I'm a big fan of film.
So him saying that, Bill saying that just now made you think about that.
Yes, because I remember it distinctly. It was one of the weirdest things in that movie was because it was one of those points that explained how did Hydra infiltrate, S.H.I.E.L.D. But it totally makes sense. You borrow that from actual facts. Was it true that we were bringing in Nazis to, because we were behind the 8 ball on technology and on science because what were the Nazis doing? Okay, some of the weirdest stuff, people forget this. Some of the brutality in Nazi Germany against Jews were all experiments. Well, most of them were experiments.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
They didn't want to experiment on themselves.
Exactly. Like they were used as human guinea pigs. And that's not hidden. That's no controversy. Everyone knows that. Well, that's what was happening. So imagine you have a group of people with the highest tolerance for doing ungodly things. And you need them to do research on puppies, animals, whatever the case is. These guys have got no morals whatsoever. These scientists want to get to the bottom of science, and it doesn't matter. When we found out that Dr. Fauci was taking beagles, have you seen this video, these pictures? He was taking beagles, and he would put this netting around their head, and have the beagles alive be eaten by bugs. This was experiments happening at the National Institute of Health. These were the experiments they were doing. When people found out they were doing this to puppies, people were like, oh, my goodness. It sounds like the type of crazy stuff that they're talking about. And I don't know. It sounds crazy, but I just remember that. As Bill was talking, that scene was popping into my head. Just going, yeah, that's exactly what he was talking about. I don't know. It sounds crazy. You're looking at me like I'm nuts. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. What's name? Boris says, exiled scientists, many German-trained scientists, such as Lise Meitner, who discovered fission with Hahn, and Klaus Fuchs, who worked on the Manhattan Project, fled Nazi Germany, often contributing to the Allied effort instead. And, look, to me, I kind of feel like these, we were a barbaric people before we became all civilized. I mean, let's be honest. Back in the days, we used to be real savage. Just were. The stuff that, people did was, inhumane. I mean, you think about the Tuskegee experiment, You ask yourself, it's like, how could people do that to a race of people? It's like, that's because people were, you had to give the people who had the lowest amount of morals. Just absolute worms. You just had to.
I think it more so, too, it was the monsters that were in charge back then.
Yeah.
They were pure monsters.
Well, listen, in order to do the nasty things, you need nasty people, right? There are other people just like, I couldn't do that. Other guys going, give me the scalpel. I'm just saying, it sounds crazy. But, knowing that I had friends who would take a magnifying glass and kill ants, you look at that guy. Yeah, come on.
I did that.
I knew we would weed him out. I
did that, yeah.
I'm just saying. There's a level.
I did it on myself first, though.
Oh, did you?
And I was like, I don't like that at all.
Yes. Let me do it to a defensive insect. Defenseless insect. My point is that, look, a level of depravity is in our society. Look, come on, man. Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't just an evil son of a gun. This was a guy who kept things in his freezer. This guy, imagine this. I'm already doing something that I know is morally wrong. He kept trinkets after the fact, which means that he was absolutely without remorse.
Yeah, he wanted to relive it.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Right? There was no moral conscience that came to his mind after he had done. He wasn't sitting out there just going, that may be bad. No, he was just like, I need to do this a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, the depraved mind is the depraved mind. It just is. It's scary, but true. Again, this is my whole point about earlier with the DCF things. We just have to come to realization that there's some people who are just scumbags.
Yeah, just imagine if morality wasn't a part of the human race.
Ooh, we'd be a much worse place. This is the reason why. Hey, you know what? I'll tell you this. Before we get the weather and traffic, give you a perfect example. Ask yourself, why do you say on your side of the yellow line? Why? Any day you could just drive right over into the other vehicle. You could, right? But for some odd reason,
insane way to think about
exactly. For some odd reason, people just don't. You know what? You want to know why? Self-preservation.
Yeah, self-preservation.
That's exactly right. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hopefully, there's some people who are being self-preserving right now, Mark.
So far, I think there's a majority of people are doing that this afternoon. Southland 91 got slow traffic, 36 and 35. Again, 33 down to 32 A and B, and more delays, 27 down to 28. If you are traveling on the westbound side of 84, delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to 45 Flatbush. Eastbound 84 flipping around the other side. You got delays about a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. A little slow as you approach the 384 interchange on the East Hartford-Manchester line. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge. 3 northbound, you got some tight traffic in Glastonbury approaching exit 13 up to 13A and B. If you're heading into 291 eastbound into Windsor, got slow traffic from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. Now, if you're heading toward Middletown, 9 northbound delays, Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound, also seeing some slow traffic now as you move 32 up to exit 34. New Britain, could be an accident in that area. If you're traveling on the westbound side of 84 into Cheshire, you got delays 26 to 25. Again at the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound slowing in Waterbury from exit 25A down to the 691 interchange. Southbound Parkway, you've got delays 52 down into the West Rock Tunnel. And 91 southbound, you're slowing from exit 7 in New Haven down in toward the 95 interchange. South 95 tied up 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
The rest of today is cloudy with rain and drizzle continuing as we come down from a high of 38. Tonight is breezy with rain, and it'll be heavy at times, especially this evening into about 2-3 a.m. There even can be some puddling and ponding on roadways with a low of 34. Tomorrow, periods of rain in the morning. Otherwise, it's a cloudy day with a high of 37. And Saturday remains cloudy, not as cold, with a high of 47. This is meteorologist Melissa Constancer in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
5:30, I'm John Silva. Shake up at the Department of Homeland Security.
President Trump made the announcement on social media, making Kristi Noem the first member of the Trump cabinet to be ousted during the president's current term. Noem's departure caps a tenure filled with controversy over several issues, including immigration enforcement tactics, the deaths of 2 protesters in Minneapolis, the treatment of detainees deported to third-party countries, and her handling of disaster responses. The president announced he is replacing Noem with Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
U.S. and Israel hammering Iran for a 6th day. Iran has kept up its retaliatory attacks on Israel, American bases, and countries around the region. Wars escalated in each day, affecting an additional 14 countries across the Middle East. Freezing rain, other wintry weather in store for us again this evening and tonight. The state has once again enacted the severe cold weather protocol. That's in effect from now through at least noon on Friday. Those who need shelter and other assistance are urged to call 211 or log on to 211ct.org. Fairfield police have arrested 2 men in connection with a gold scam aimed at elderly residents. The victims lost more than $450,000 in 2 cases. Under arrest are Lei Cheng and Fang Zhang Huang. Police say the victims were encouraged to withdraw large sums of money in order to convert it into gold. On Wall Street, the Dow lost 784 points today. The Nasdaq gave back 58 and the S&P down 38 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Let's take a step back in time to an era when things were built right, built to last, and a handshake meant something. Yankee Home delivers that same craftsmanship still today. If your bathroom has moldy corners, dingy grout lines, broken tiles, and rust stains, it's time to call Yankee Home. You can have a brand new, bright, beautiful bathroom in as little as 1 day. From design to demo, plumbing to final product, our team will transform your bath fast. Every job is done right the first time. Never cattywampus. Take advantage of our winter special with 50% off installation plus 0 down and 0% interest. Call Yankee Home at 1-800-885-HOME. That's 1-800-885-HOME. Or visit yankeehome.com. That's yankeehome.com.
Yankee Home makes it easy as can be with our never cattywampus lifetime guarantee. Yankee Home.
On approved credit, restrictions apply.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. Lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Yeah, make sure you do that so you can check out new music Thursdays and a bunch of other stuff we did today. I just saw this quick thing. It says a new shot that you can take that literally regrows your knee cartilage. It says researchers at Stanford Medicine have identified a novel strategy to regenerate articular cartilage in knees and potentially prevent the threat of osteoarthritis. They say the product is called Negro. Okay. I'm kidding. It's real. It's true, but it is not called Negro. I'm just saying. I just thought it would work. I don't know. News. Congratulations. Jason Newsted, the former bassist of Metallica, turned 63. Evan Dando, frontman of the Lemonheads, turns 59. Fergal Lawler, the drummer for the Cranberries, nobody knows him. He turns 55. Kay Michelle, R&B singer, turns 44. Emilio Estefan, who is the producer and a musician from the Miami Sound Machine. Come on, baby, do that bumba, whatever that is. Anyway, he turns 73. Also, I want to mention this because I think this is actually these were yesterday's birthdays. I apologize. Look at me screwing it up. Today's birthdays, British singer who is known for One Night in Bangkok. His name is Murray Head. He turns 80 today. Eddie Grant, we got to walk down to Electric Avenue. He turns 78 today. He is not, I never knew this, I thought he was Jamaican. He is a Guyanese British reggae pop singer. Elaine Page, who played Eva Perón in Evita, turned 78. Alan Clark, the British keyboardist known in the group Dire Straits, one of my favorite bands, he turned 78. Alan Clark, also of Dire Straits, turned 74. Craig Reed and Charlie Reed, the twins, Scottish identical twin brothers, with that rock hit you might remember. And I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more. Both of them turned 64 today. It is also interesting to note that Frank Sinatra's debut album, released yesterday, called The Voice of Frank Sinatra, 80 years ago today. His first solo album is in music news. And I hope you enjoyed all of that horrible singing that I just did. In all of that. Negro. That was funny. I'm sorry, that was funny. But it does say here, it's really, really true. It says researchers at Stanford Medicine have identified a novel strategy to regenerate articular cartilage in the knees, potentially prevent osteoarthritis. That's great. It's good stuff. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Eddie Grant's got nothing on you, bro.
Eddie Grant? That's funny because I had a Jamaican woman who used to call me Eddie Grant.
Really?
Because Jamaicans cannot say the letter E without saying the word H. So I got Heddy. I got Heddy Grant.
Eddie.
Yes, Heddy Grant, and I was Heddy Rabbit.
I love a rainy night.
Yes, and it doesn't help that I have a big head. So when she called me that, she was doing that in the neighborhood. She goes, Heddy, come here.
I think that's what it was more about. I think she could say it. she gave you a nickname without
it's
you
a
even
cruel
knowing it.
Jamaican laundromat owner. That's what she was.
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of 91 slowing a little bit, 36 and 35, again 33 down to 32 A and B, more delays 27 to 28. If you're traveling on the westbound side of 84, delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to exit 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound slowing about a mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. Tap the brakes again out by the 384 interchange, 2 westbound slowing approaching 84 west and East Hartford. 3 northbound's a little slow by 13 A and B. Heading over to Route 2, 9 northbound's a little slow, 32 in Berlin to 34 New Britain. Westbound side of 84 sluggish, 26 to 25 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound sluggish, 26 down to the 691 interchange. And 84 eastbound into Waterbury, you lose speed 17 up to 18. Southbound side of 91, New Haven slowing 7 in toward the 95 interchange. 95 south delays 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Heading through this evening, we are going to be breezy with some heavy rain. It's going to be continuing through this evening and into the overnight hours. Probably 2, 3 a.m. is when it starts to ease off. There can be puddling, ponding on the roadways, so do watch out for slower travel through this time. Low of 34. Tomorrow, there will be some periods of rain through the morning. Otherwise, it's a cloudy day, a high of 37. Tomorrow night will be cloudy with occasional rain and drizzle late. That'll be a low of 33. Saturday does start off our warmer weekend on a cloudy note with a high of 47. Then Sunday, some sunshine returns. So it's partly sunny, a high of 59. We go mostly sunny on Monday, nice and warm with a high of 65. Right now it's 37 in Canton, 40 in Manchester, and 39 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
Wisdom teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and at newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
If you love sports, this is the show for you. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Weekday mornings 9 to noon Eastern on the free Odyssey app and YouTube at The Costos. Bringing you the biggest NFL news, guests, and notes from the offseason while getting you ready to win the madness of college hoops. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Download the Odyssey app and listen from anywhere for sports talk from people who love sports.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
You know, I gotta say, I'm weirded out by something. Today is Thursday, which would put us Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 6 days. Right? Where's all the Iran news? Have you seen any? Like, where did it all go? I thought we were at war. Do you not? I remember Operation Desert Storm. It was wall-to-wall coverage for weeks. What happened? Where is everybody? Nothing? Kristi Noem loses her position at DHS, and no one's talking about the war. I'm not crazy, right? Like that everybody. The War Powers Act, dead. Dead and gone. They moved on. Now they're voting on whether or not Iran is the largest state sponsor of terrorism, and the people who voted against the resolution were all part of the squad. You know, the bull-headed Avenger and the Puerto Rican bartender. It's crazy. It's crazy. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, happy days. I agree. It's like all of it's gone. I'm seeing nothing. I don't know. I just thought that was weird. I was like, nothing there. Even Hakeem Jeffries is off the Iran war, right? It's supposed to be a war. Like, there's something they need to be. They're always distracted. They're just always distracted. We'll play the Chris Murphy thing tomorrow. It's not all that important. It's no big deal. Roseanne will be here on the program tomorrow. We'll talk to her, hang out with her a little bit as well. Oh, you off tomorrow? Whoa. You tell me this now that you're not going to be here? No. There's an email? I missed that email. Oh, let me guess. You've got a tournament. Don't me. Yes, you do. It's the only reason why you're not here.
No, that's not the only reason.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Well, your daughter may have a competition.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Does she have a competition?
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay. Is it in New York?
New York.
I knew it.
And the next weekend is in Boston.
Oh, goodness gracious. Now, not that I need to ask, but I don't want to know the specific location. You never know, stalkers and all. Like, are you going to be, like, in Manhattan?
Oh, no. It's technically New Jersey, but...
What's technically New Jersey? Like, it's in New Jersey?
Yeah, but they always say, they call it New York.
They call it New York. Is it in Jersey City, Hoboken, or Bergen County?
It's right next to the MetLife Stadium.
Oh, wow, that's Rutherford.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, you're going all the way out there. Look at you hanging out in Wow. So it's like a big deal? Wait a minute. Now, I need to ask this because it's important because you have to drive all the way out there. Will there be wagering?
No,
come on, they bet on everything.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure they might have some type of thing somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Now,
I wouldn't bet on it.
Is she a soloist or does she dance with a troupe?
No, she dances with a
troupe,
a whole crew. But this
it's called
year,
a troupe.
This year they call it a crew.
They call it it's a dance crew.
Dance crew.
Oh, is it like the step-in movies where the kids are doing the hip hop moves? All that stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're doing all that. Yeah. Okay. All right, that's cool.
But this is her first year as doing a solo. So.
Oh, is she gonna do a solo too?
Yeah.
Do you ever watch that thing, World of Dance? That
I used to.
I used to actually love those shows.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
America's Best Dance Crew. That's how that show was. Was it the first big dance show? I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
America's Best Dance Crew.
Yeah.
That's how I was able to go on tour.
Oh,
because
really?
Of that crew.
Oh, okay.
There's a crew from Boston called Status Quo.
Oh,
they went all the way to the finals,
that crew.
And they lost to the Jabberwockies.
I know that crew. I know Status Quo.
Their leader, Ernest, who was Enoch.
Yep.
We had the same manager.
How long ago was this with the Status Quo? Because they lost to the Jabberwockies. That was
season 1.
2008, 2009.
Yep, something like that.
Yep, I know it very well because I was in Boston at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
We had the same manager who's a manager under the table for Bad Boy.
Oh, interesting.
So
yeah. Okay, so you're gonna go out there and they're gonna do the whole they're doing the dance.
They're going to do all that good stuff.
All that good stuff.
And then I get back right on time.
Right.
To jump in the car with my homeboys early Sunday morning.
And then you have a bowling tournament.
Go to my tournament, yeah.
And that's expected to, what's the big prize money there?
Oh, it's not. This is, you have to do, see, this is.
This is the prelims.
Thing. You have to do the smaller tournaments. People always think they're supposed to go to do the big tournaments, but if you don't do the smaller tournaments, you miss out on the whole process.
Right, you don't qualify.
Yeah, how to learn. No, you qualify, but it's a learning process.
Oh, okay.
Because if you don't do the smaller tournaments, you get to the big tournament and you might not bowl as well because you don't know that one of those very small tournaments in Vermont had the same oil pattern as this big tournament that's in Las Vegas or whatever it is. And you hadn't gone to that tournament, so you don't know.
Right.
Because you just want to go for the big money.
Right.
And you out there and you bowl like trash.
Right. Because you don't know the oil pattern.
Yeah. Whereas a person like me that hits all the small tournaments and the big and the medium and the big tournaments.
I totally get it.
I'm like, okay, I use that ball and I stand on this spot and I use that mark on the lane. Perfect. Let's go. Now I got the advantage just like that.
God bless you, Roland. I'm fascinated, but you're interested in this.
You got to study if you want to be great.
No, I totally understand that. I get it 100%. I will never be great at bowling. I will be that guy who shows up.
Well, you're great at this. Look at all the studying you do for this. That you're just proving my point.
If
you want to be great at something, you gotta
do it.
You gotta practice it every day.
Every day.
You gotta study. You gotta prepare, and you gotta be mentally focused on making sure I'm doing this the right way. And then boom, just like that, you're Reese on the radio.
Yeah, I totally agree. You're 100% right. You are. I mean, you are. When you're right, you're right. Let's get to the phones before we get out of here. John is in New Britain. What's going on, John?
Hey, Reese. I wanted to comment on an earlier caller.
Yeah.
About the Plum Island thing.
Yep. Apparently that's getting a lot of traction right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. One comment he made, though, I want to take a little. I don't know where his information comes from about the sewer discharge.
Oh,
that's
okay.
That's why all the lobsters.
Yeah, I asked him whether or not that was a going theory. He did concede to that it was a theory.
Well, I have another theory from a guy I know really well who was a licensed leased oysterman from the Milford area.
Okay.
And what he said happened in about that same time frame was there was a special exemption granted to a big trawling company that brought 3 huge trawlers in to bottom drag in the Sound.
Ooh.
And what happened was they were allowed to keep the bycatch, which was the lobsters.
Okay. And this is where the shortage sort of.
Well, the reason why the shortage became so is lobsters reproduce really well.
Right.
What happened is they knocked out the generation. So what happens is the big lobsters went away.
Okay.
And all the small lobsters were left.
Right.
And then the small lobsters are all competing for the same resource. So it stunted the growth pattern because you had large, medium, small, really tiny ones.
Right. And small lobsters are not viable to lobster fishermen.
Exactly. So when you stunt the growth pattern, it took 2 cycles for the growth pattern to reestablish where you got the king of the hill could be 30 years old.
Wow.
You know, and the little guys are the size of a shrimp. And it takes them a while, and they'll eat each other.
Right.
And everybody else will eat them. So when you get rid of the king of the hill and a lot of the other bycatch that was pulled out of there, the lobsters were deprived of, first of all, the food source, and then when the reproductive pattern was taken away.
Okay.
The whole ecosystem just flailed for like 7 or 8 years until it could reestablish itself.
Understood. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate the correction.
And that was granted by the, I don't know who does it, the Federal Bureau of something, but all that stuff trolled off the bottom was given a special exemption for Purdue so they could feed their chickens with it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Thank you. I appreciate that, John. Thank you for holding to inform us of that, man. And thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Let's go to Ray, our last but not least, in the car. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? This is crazy. I didn't think I was going to be the last caller.
That's okay. Last but not least is an honor, I have to tell you. What's going on?
Well, I'm going to have to divert from you and ask Roland, where's his home bowling house?
Ooh, great question.
I'm a bowler, too.
Roland, what do you have what's called a home group, so to speak? Did he step out? I think he stepped out of the studio. I will have to ask him. I don't know. He is like kind of a traveling man. There he is. Roland, Ray on the phone is asking, where is your, how did you refer to it, Ray?
His house. Where's his house?
Your bowling house. Where's that? Hold on, he's about to get on the microphone and let you know. Yeah.
Currently, well, it was Bolorama, but currently it's Spare Time right by the airport.
Spare Time, by Bradley?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It used to be Bradley Bowl, but
okay. So I bowl out of Plainville. I just got my PBA card this weekend.
What, Lesser Lanes? Is it Lesser Lanes? Can you
Talk
hear me?
to me off the air because I don't think anybody else
okay.
is going to enjoy this.
Well, I was actually getting kind of interested. I was like, maybe you two were buddies. Okay, I will put
Is
you
it
on.
Lesser Lanes? That's where he bowls at.
Okay, well, let me put him on hold. He doesn't want to reveal himself to the rest of the world. People, sometimes you can't tell everybody where you're from. I totally get it. All right, we're going to get up out of here. Like I said, Roseanne will be on the program tomorrow. We will sit down, talk to her. Of course, we'll cover all the news and all the great stuff that is happening across the country. We will get some more information on this Kristi Noem thing and whether or not this $220 million played any significant role. We'll also get some of the quotes from Mark Wayne Mullen and his new role as that takes a place. And let me see, there was another story that I'm working on that I know I'm not ready for yet, but I will be talking about tomorrow. As I said, we got Derek Hopkins, who's coming in on Tuesday next week from the Urban League. It's going to be great talking to him. Also, check YouTube. If you want to, just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. If you go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com, you could go to my YouTube page, subscribe to my YouTube page, and you can get all of the music there that we post on the show when we do our New Music Thursday, or as we're calling it, Topical Tunes on Reese on the Radio. So make sure you subscribe to that. We're trying to get our listenership up, if you will, or at least our social media content up. So if you are on Facebook or any of these social media platforms, join us there. Let us know that you're listening to the program. Send us a message about the program if you enjoy it. People have been sending me story ideas. I am getting them, and I will go into them. I think I just got a story today about something happening in Middletown. I will go into that, and I'll see what I can find out showing up in the coming days. So stand by for that. As we always say, this is where we go for news and views, and we get results. So we'll break that down. Also, I'm paying very close attention to Deborah Stevenson, who was on the show yesterday. She said that there's been a revision to this Senate Bill 6 and Section 5. So I'm staying in touch with her through proxy to find out what these changes are. And if I get any information on that, I will share it with you on the show tomorrow. So stand by that. Thank you, Michael B. That's another Michael B. Thank you so much for appreciating the program. We really do. Michael A., as always, thank you, sir. We will get out of here. We got to go because it's time to get some more weather and traffic. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here at 2 p.m. Mark Christopher is getting you home now. He's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Good night, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good night to you. Good night, everyone. If you're southbound 91 coming into Hartford, look for delays 33 down to 32A and B. We had an accident 91 southbound between exit 25N and 24. Looks like state police have just moved out off to the right.